Test one. Good afternoon, Knights fans, and the college football playoffs continue across the country as the Division I winds down their regular season and prepares for their conference championships. The smaller schools across the country continue to move towards their national champions, and the Marian Knights move forward with a win last week in the opening round of the NAIA Football Championship Series, a thumping 41-7, a huge win over their longtime rivals, St. Xavier. And that win brings Marion into the quarterfinals. And head coach Mark Henniger in his 10th season is at the scene and the school who ended Marion's season last year in this round. We are in Orange City, Iowa. We are tucked up in the northern portion of Iowa, right on the border of South Dakota. 660 miles away from campus, where the 7th-ranked Marian Knights look to win and advance. Only 8 schools, 4 games being played today, and the Knights are on the road against a terrific team, number 3 Northwestern College. The Raiders are 10-1. They finished in second place, 9-1 in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. It's the Knights and the Raiders. We're so glad you could be a part of our broadcast today on the ISC Sports Network. As always, I welcome into the booth Zach Graves. And Zach, this is where it all ended a year ago. A tough loss. Marion had leads at one point last year in this game in the first quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter. They just couldn't put away this Northwestern College team. Now they get another opportunity today, and Marion feels like they are a much better football team this year at this point in the year than they were last year.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. I do think this is a better football team, and it is such a great opportunity to get another chance at the team that beat you the year before. I think back to 14, losing to Southern Oregon in the championship, and then the next year you beat them in the championship. It's similar to that. It is the second round, not the championship. But this team, Marion, they thought they were better than Northwestern last year, and they really let one go. There were so many opportunities in that game. You mentioned the leads that they had. They could not finish drives with touchdowns. They had to settle for field goals. They turned it over a couple times. If they can score and they can protect the ball, I do think they will come out victorious today.
Both of these teams come in extremely confident in today's game. Look, the only loss this year for Northwestern was week 1, a 1-point loss to their conference rivals Morningside, who is the number 1 ranked team in the country. Look, 1 loss by 1 point to the number 1 team in the country, while Marion, their lone loss to Indiana Wesleyan, who is still alive in these FCF playoffs. Both of these teams come in confident that they can exit here in Orange City, Iowa with a win. This is an explosive Northwestern offense, and they have some gaudy defensive stats as well, and their offense will be the first to touch the football today as Marion won the toss. Mark Henniger and his staff decides to defer, so Marion will receive the second half kick. Now, here are the conditions today. 20-mile-an-hour winds moving straight down the middle of the field from the south to the north, and Marlon Pomeli kicks it away with the wind at his back, and it sails over the returners and lands in the back of the end zone. And so this offense for Northwestern College will come out and start at the 25-yard line. Incredible story with their quarterback, Jalen Gramstead. He was a defensive back last year, kind of played a nickel role. He had a pick in the playoff game last year. Now he is the starting quarterback for this explosive offense, averaging 44 points per game. They will go with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a single back, and they spread you out. And immediately, in their red jerseys and white helmets and white pants, they go to work working from left to right. As you imagine this broadcast, here's a handoff to the running back, a huge hole up the middle, and Jay Sean Underwood, the cornerback, trips him up, at the 36-yard line. There's a gain of 12 for Connor McCullen.
Yeah, you mentioned the huge hole is blocked up perfectly up front. This is an experienced offensive line. A lot of first-teamers on the offensive line, 3 all G-Pack. They just created a great seam for McCullen to run through. McCullen is a very effective runner, 6 yards per carry this season.
Now, like Marion, they really don't have a strong feature back that has 1,000+ yards, but their quarterback is someone that can run the ball. He averages almost 100 yards a game, and there he is now moving out of the pocket, a design quarterback run. He picks up 12 yards, and the sophomore from Iowa bounces up to his feet. 2 plays, 2 12-yard runs for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, this Gramstead is a run-first quarterback who can also throw it. Much different look than last year going against Koima, who was a very good quarterback, threw for 227 yards in the second rounder last year against Marion. But Gramstead, 750 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns, Scott. That is a lot. He's very effective in that one. They blocked up really well on that quarterback draw.
Yeah, the 19 touchdowns, the second most in NAIA. Here's a quick pass out to the flat that is low, and it then scoots underneath the hands of Tanner Scouten. Offensively for Northwest College, again, 3 wide receivers. Tanner Scouten, the intended wide receiver on that incomplete pass. Cade Mosier, who is second team all G-Pack. And Michael Story, who is back-to-back first team all conference wide receiver. Gramstead is the quarterback. McClellan is the first team all-conference running back. Blake Anderson, the tight end. And it is a wide, big offensive line from tackle to tackle. Second down and 10. They give it through to the running back. Runs through a tackle of linebacker Logan Blake. And McQuillan falls forward out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 6, and it will bring up third down and 4 as they move the ball into Marion territory.
Yeah, and you mentioned the size of that offensive line, but just overall it's a pretty big team. I mean, you look at McQuillan himself, 6'1", 215-pound running back. Their spell back is also 212 pounds. They have big receivers. Just overall, a very big, strong team.
No score opening drive. The Red Raiders have moved the ball into Marion territory. The line of scrimmage is the 45. They move from left to right. Marion, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, quarterback draw. He'll be hit by linebacker Jake Paris. He will lose 2 yards. So they tried to work on the left side of the line with that quarterback draw, but the second team all-conference linebacker for Marion makes the stop, and the punt team going into the wind will come out for the Red Raiders. The defense holds.
What a terrific play by Jake Paris. It's a design quarterback run with a pulling right guard to the left side of the line. Jake Paris is able to avoid that guard and bring down Gramstead on that design quarterback run on 3rd and about 6. That is an excellent play from Paris.
The left-hander hits a low kick that bounces, and the Red Raiders will track this down inside the 5, and they will down it at the 2-yard line. They kicked it away from the dangerous Jalen Jennings and did a great job of keeping it low.
Yes.
Jaden Snyder, because of this kicking directly into this 20-mile-an-hour wind, and great coverage. And now the Marion offense in a scoreless game comes out onto the field for the first time, led by all-league wide receiver, the 5th-year senior, Ben Stevens. The wide receiver is the go-to target for quarterback Zach Bundelow. Jacob Pressler is the other wide receiver. 2 wides, and they've got 2 tight ends. The single back is Baron Hebler. He stands 7 yards deep in the end zone, and immediately we've got movement. It looked like a false start on Austin Jones, the left tackle for Marion.
Yeah, fortunately it's only going to be a 1-yard penalty because you're backed up, but just kind of trying to get off the ball quickly with the way you're lined up on the 2-yard line. Austin Jones goes a little early, and it is alert here. I mean, you have to try to get this out of the end zone. Just such a good punt from the Red Raiders to pin them back this deep early on.
This is a good, fast defense. Turn, give to Hebler, and he will push out of the end zone. First contact was at the 1. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage of the 2-yard line. This offensive line has 3 first-team all-conference players for Marion, Austin Jones and Zach Sibylle, 2 first-team all-league tackles. Hunter Hankins is back in the lineup. Quade Pope back in the lineup at right guard, and anchoring it is first-team all-conference center Darren Dillon. 2nd down and 10 from the 2. Turn, give to Hebler, and he's able to twist out of a tackle attempt by the cornerback Gavin Lorenzen, and he will get out to the 6-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great read by Hebler. It's blocked up, trying to go left. There's not really much room, so Hebler cuts back all the way to the right side, avoids the tackle, gives themselves a chance here on 3rd down.
No score, 11-24, first quarter clock. Quarterfinals of the playoffs. Marian backed up in their own end zone. They have 3rd down and 6. Low snap. Rolling out into the end zone and then throwing it into the dirt. The defender was starting to really creep up on Pressler. Bundalo just threw that ball away. And Marion, with this strong wind at their back, has a 3 and out, and they will punt from deep in their own end zone with Taylor Soper.
Yeah, and the low snap really kind of threw off the timing for Bundalo and all the receivers. And by the time he tried to roll out away from the pressure, he wasn't able to deliver the ball accurately. We saw this a little bit last week, too. Darren Dillon's been so solid his whole career. Hasn't really had that many bad snaps. He rolled one back last week, now a low one again here today. Just the wrong time to have stuff like that starting.
With the wind at his back, a low line drive bounces at the 50, scooped up on a hop, and the Red Raiders carry it back out to the 50, and they have it in Marion territory. Ty Schaefer with a good 11-yard punt return on the punt from the own end zone by Soper. So both teams now have had the ball, and it's time for us now to kind of reset in this quarterfinal. I'm Scott McCauley, along with Zach Graves. What are some keys today, you think, for both of these squads?
So just kind of looking at all the stats for both teams, obviously both high-powered offenses average over 40 points a game and over 400 yards of offense a game, and also very solid defenses. The one thing that sticks out when you look at both sides is 3rd downs, and this is on both sides of the football, offense and defense. Both teams complete over 50% of their 3rd downs, and both teams prevent only 20% of 3rd downs.
Here's a pass play on 1st down and 10 into the flat. It is caught, and it was a wide receiver on Logan Blake. The linebacker misses the tackle, and Michael Story will pick up 15 additional yards after the catch and run. And you quickly move the ball down to the 23-yard line. That's not a matchup that Marion wants. A linebacker on Story.
No, not at all. And Michael Story is their leading receiver. That's his 60th catch this season. And Cade Moser is actually the All-American. Both are first-team All-GPAC. But Cade Moser, number 1, was the guy who had the big game last year. But Story has just been dynamic all year. And, yes, as you mentioned, you do not want him lined up against Logan Blake or any other linebacker.
Yeah, so Northwestern gets the mismatch. They'll now give it to a dive, and this time nowhere to run for the running back, Connor McClellan. So he is going to, might even lose a yard. Back to the line of scrimmage at the 23-yard line. So from the Marion perspective on defense, terrific front four. Dion Pettiford led the team with sacks. Chauncey Mays and Tyler Majors, a pair of fifth-year seniors, they anchor the middle of the line. Tyler Bucher is on the outside. The strength, Jake Paris, Logan Blake, who was the co-defensive player of the year in the league, and Trevor Adler make up the linebacking core. And the secondary, Jay Sean Underwood and Dom Small are the corners. Clay Campbell and Nate Fry are the safeties. Wanting to put it up into the air, it's complete. In space, it's caught. Campbell, the safety, does a really good job to hold up the pass catcher, not allow him to pick up any yards after the catch, and will bring up a 3rd down from the 17-yard line.
Yeah, Michael Story running a quick out to the far side of the field. Good delivery from Gramstead, and creates a one-on-one opportunity. Clay Campbell, very good tackler in the open field, able to bring him down, and then got some help to bring up this 3rd down once again, but inside the red zone.
They line up now on the left hash in their white pants, red jerseys. The Red Raiders now with the deepest penetration so far in this game. Second drive, no score, under 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. It'll be a quarterback draw. He'll work the right side. He has the first down, cuts up in the middle of the field, and an easy quarterback run for Jalen Gramstead, and the Red Raiders strike first.
It was so fast. You know, when you see a draw, you see the quarterback run back. He's kind of trying to sell pass first. This is a run all the way. It's a different look. Marion really hasn't had a true run-first quarterback this year. There's been some guys they've played against who can run, but Gramstead is a run-first guy. And as soon as he caught that out of an empty backfield, they motioned the running back out to a receiver position, and Gramstead just fires off. And we mentioned this offensive line. They have created so many holes early on. Gramstead gets a great read, breaks a couple tackles, and gets into the end zone.
And the extra point is good by Eli Stater. 4 plays, 49 yards, 2 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. And the other thing that I think is critical here, Zach, is that's not only the first touchdown of the game, that was going into this 20-mile-an-hour wind. So
Great point.
Advantage right now for the Red Raiders.
It's a great point. And the way they set it up, they start their drive back after the first kickoff, right? They have a couple first downs but stall out. That punt pinned Marion back so far that 1-3 and out, boom, Northwestern gets the ball right back at midfield. So they only lost like 5-6 yards from one drive to the next, and then perfect execution on the pass to Story, another pass to Story, and all the quarterback runs get them into the end zone. It's just a very good start from the Red Raiders.
Yeah, this is a high-powered offense. Again, their conference in the Great Plains is dominated by Morningside, the number 1 team in the country, and this number 3 team, Northwestern College. The rest of the league has been down, so you're really not sure if these numbers are true, if this team is as good as they say they are. Well, they look sharp here thus far.
Definitely.
As they've been able to move the ball pretty well against the number 1 defense in the country, the Marion Knights. Keep in mind now for Marion, as they allow that touchdown, that is just the 10th touchdown the defense has given up this entire season, and this is the 11th game of the year.
Yeah.
And they've moved the ball quite easily.
It was too easy. Yeah,
the quarterback's going to be a problem.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot this year, that Marion will give up some yards, but they're really good at preventing points. They really buckle down in the red zone. But that entire drive, the Red Raiders, both drives really kind of just did whatever they want in those quarterback runs. It's going to be a problem today.
Short kick taken up by Keegan LaBelle, the up back, caught it at the 25-yard line. It was a high, short kick into the wind. The good news is you've got a freshman running back that's able to make that catch and then carry the ball out just shy of the 30-yard line. Okay, now wind at your back, second time to touch the ball. Marion needs to answer and have a good drive here with this wind at their back in the opening quarter.
Yeah, and that's the key. I mean, I know we're so early here. This is only the second drive, but can't have another 3 and out. Even if you drive it a few first downs and don't get points, at least don't give Northwestern good field position once again.
They have a terrific linebacker as they go with 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers. Here's a handoff to Christian Hunter, and the big running back barrels out over the 35 down to the 36-yard line, and a great gain on the first touch for number 4.
Really good cut there from Christian Hunter. Starts out to the right, blocked up pretty well, but there's a linebacker, a guy that we're going to talk about a lot today, Parker Fryer, waiting in the hole. Christian Hunter cuts back to the left and gets close to that first down marker.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a sweep here to the near side for Hunter. He has the first down. A late flag flies in after he was past the first down marker.
Very late.
They mark him down at the 42-yard line. Now let's see where the spot foul is, as the flag right now is lying at the 39-yard line.
Face mask, offense, number 72, 15-yard penalty, second down.
That is a killer.
That hurt.
Darren Dillon, your all-league center, the 5th-year senior, a 15-yard personal foul, face mask penalty.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot from being called on offensive lineman. Darren Dillon's pulling out to the left from his center position, picks up Parker Fryer, that middle linebacker, number 43, and the way that the running back was positioned, Parker Fryer tries to get behind Darren Dillon, so he reaches back and grabs a hold of that face mask, but the killer part of it is that 15 yards.
So now it's 2nd down and 14. Here's Bundelow. He will now be forced to run out of the pocket. He slides down. As he did, he took a little bump on the chest.
A little bit, but it was not illegal. And it started with the pass rush from Morris Hoffer, number 23. Makes a really good inside move on Austin Jones. Bundelow sees it right away, has to scramble out of the pocket and try to get what he can. Now, 3rd and 10. Pretty important here.
Yeah, 3rd down and 10. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Marion needing 10 yards. The line of scrimmage is the 28-yard line. Wind is at their back. Marion trailing 7-0 here on the road in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. Bundelow has the snap, drops back, plants at the 20, rolls out, pressure. He's dropped. He could not pull the trigger. He had his arm ready to go. He kept holding on to it, and the defense brings him down Jacob Dragstra and Adam Gubbles are able to come in there and make a play along with Tyler Jones. That was just the D-line. All four got in.
Yeah, it was a four-man rush. They run a tackle stunt up front. It wasn't blocked up too bad. Marion gave Bundelow enough time. The problem was 7 guys in coverage. There was nowhere to go with football. There's no white jerseys open. Bundelow does the right thing, not trying to force it, ends up taking the sack instead of throwing it away. But with the wind at their back, hopefully they can pin Northwestern deep enough.
They come after the punt, and oh my, they almost ran by the ball. Great punt. Fair catch called for at the 24-yard line by Ty Schaefer. Well, the Knights have had it twice, and this is something else to keep an eye on here. Marion now has had the ball twice. Both times they have been called for penalties. Marion is one of the worst teams in the country.
Huge factor today, Scott.
They average 7 penalties per game for over 70 yards. On the other side, Northwestern is the best team in the country when it comes to penalties.
Yeah, 4 a game for 40 yards.
And Marion has already had 2. Now, the first one is a half the distance from the 2 to the 1, but clearly that face mask takes away a first down at midfield, and that set them back.
Yeah, absolutely. It killed the drive. Yeah.
6:33 to go. Northwestern with the lead now has the ball at their own 34-yard line. Already a rushing touchdown by their quarterback. They hand it off now to the backup running back. And it was Connor McClellan, still the number 1 running back. Apologize for that, number 3.
Really good job by Joe Apata. He's been out a couple weeks with an injury, comes back in his rotation, defensive line duties, and makes a solo tackle. Not easy on Connor McClellan.
2nd down and 12. He loses 2.
2nd and 12, Northwestern.
Northwestern breaks the huddle. They go with a double tight end set. Wide receivers split to both sides. Single back behind Jalen Gramstad. The quarterback drops back, looking to his right, dumps it underneath, and it's caught. Immediately, Trevor Adler wraps up the tight end, Blake Anderson, but he will make the catch out to the 43-yard line and bring up a 3rd down and about 7.
Yeah, nice job by Jalen Gramstad to hang in there. There's a little pressure. Pocket was collapsing. He gave his guy enough time. Completes the pass over the middle, and now they have a 3rd and 7 range, manageable enough.
Under 5.5 to play, opening quarter. The Red Raiders, 3rd-ranked team in the country, are going into this 20-mile-an-hour wind. They already have a touchdown going in this direction. They're moving from left to right as you listen to this. Quarterback drops back. He's going to throw one over the middle and nearly intercepted. Trevor Adler, the nickelback, cut underneath the intended wide receiver, Cade Mosier, at the 35-yard line, and the ball falls to the turf. The defense makes a stop.
Yeah, a little pressure brought from the other safety, Clay Campbell. Oh, he's the true safety, and Adler from his nickel position ends up going back and playing that safety position that Clay Campbell abandoned there. That's a really nice, different look there defensively. Gramstad still gave his guy a chance. Dom Small had outside leverage. Adler comes in and breaks it up from underneath. That's a good play from Adler.
Yeah, double coverage. Here is the punt. That is a terrible shank off the toe, but it's going to take a great bounce. That ball barely cleared the line of scrimmage, but because it was end over end, it bounced some 25 yards down to the 33-yard line. That ball didn't get 10 feet off the ground.
It didn't, and we watched Soper before the game warming up, kicking into this way, and he didn't get any punt past about 25 yards when it goes up in the air like that. A different attempt or a different style for Jaden Snyder for Northwestern, trying to get those line drives going. That one just took that lucky bounce for Northwestern.
Trips right for Marion. 1st down and 10. Bundelow hands it off to Hebler, and he was hit hard.
Yeah, there he is.
Right in the hole by Parker Fryer, the GPAC Defensive Player of the Year, an All-American candidate. And boy, he hit him and dropped him right in his tracks at the 29-yard line, a gain of 1.
The crazy thing about Parker Fryer is he's only a sophomore. Already GPAC Player of the Year, 91 tackles, 8 for loss, 1.5 sacks. This guy's just always around the ball.
Hebler on another run, and this one will not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Nothing there.
All right, so now that's 2 runs for Zilch.
Yeah.
And here you're looking at, they're going to say 3rd down and 8 from the 30.
Yeah, and they look a tiny bit flat right now. They just need that, obviously that penalty that was that 1st down that brought them back really stalled them out. And again, we're early, it's 1st quarter, but they do look flat. They need something to get them going.
You've got a 20-mile-an-hour wind. I really want to see him use this. T-Ray Spence comes off the bench, a big wide receiver target. 2 wide receivers on both sides of the line. Bundalo will drop back. Pressure, dumps underneath, caught by Ben Stevens, short of the sticks. He will try and outrun the defense, and he cannot. They surround him. He is short of the sticks. He kept running east and west. He never found a lane to go north and south, and man, they have to punt again.
Yeah, and it was a really good blitz there. It's a delayed blitz from the linebacker. So at first, Baron Hebler, the running back, is staying in on pass protection. No blitz coming. He goes out into a route once there's no blitz coming, but then they send the blitzer late. Bundalo still able to complete the pass, but the linebacker, Tanner Olesen, tracks down Ben Stevens, trips him up before he can turn the corner.
Here's the snap back to Soper. A high punt with the wind at his back. Fair catch called for and is made at the 22-yard line, and a flag
real late
is now thrown late near the sideline of Northwestern College.
Yeah, and Tristan Mulder, number 24, is laying on top of long snapper Peyton Knight when that flag came in. Not sure if it's an unnecessary roughness, some kind of personal foul, or holding. You don't want to hold the long snapper, Scott. There's no reason to.
Yeah, holding called on Tristan Mulder. So instead of this ball being at around the 23-yard line, they will back it up to the 13. Okay.
A little bit of a break for Marion here. The way Northwestern has started this game so far, back them up a little bit.
Only one touchdown of the game, a rushing touchdown by the Northwestern College quarterback, Grabstead, from 17 yards out. Marion forced a 3-and-out the last time they were on the field. Here's a pass play into the flat. It is caught. Immediately the hit is made on Cade Mosier by Jayshon Underwood.
Yeah, it's going to be a big day for Underwood. He has his hands full playing that boundary corner. He's going to be going up against Story and Moser all day. He has to come up big today. He's been banged up, didn't practice much this week. Hopefully he can come in and do his job.
That's a gain, though, on 5 yards on first down on that quick out. Two wide receivers go to the right, a single wide receiver out to the left. Now they move a wide receiver, Story, in motion, so now two to the left of the quarterback. Grabstead, just a sophomore, drops back, throws it into the flat. The tight end has it, room to run, lowers his shoulder, and he has the first down as he runs over Adrian Cuevas.
Yeah, just one more guy that Northwestern had that Marion didn't. It's a running back out of the backfield. No one accounts for him except Cuevas, who's 10 yards deep playing his safety position. He has to come up and make that tackle in open space. It was already past the first down marker by the time he got there.
2 minutes to play. Opening quarter. Marion trailing 7-0 on the road here in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. Turn, give. And the running back tripped up but keeps his feet. He was submarined by Logan Blake and Nate Fry. The safety was in there, but they didn't bring him down. He carries it out to the 30-yard line, a gain of 4 after being hit behind the line.
Yeah, it was a great little quick move right in the middle where everything is, able to avoid that tackle and pick up a few. Moving it pretty easily, though, so far. They're moving the ball however they want with the quick passes, the runs, everything's working. There's been no negative plays, only one penalty on special teams. They're a clean team. They're not going to beat themselves.
They are led by their head coach, Matt McCarty, in his 7th season, 64 wins in 7 years. He is 7-5 all-time in the postseason, including an appearance in the 2020 Spring National Championship game.
Great tackle by Tyler Majors in the middle there on McCauley. Once again, brings up 3rd and 5. And this is the key today, Scott. These third downs for Marion, getting Northwestern off the field on offense, staying on the field, putting these drives together. This is the key today, third downs.
These are the top 2 teams on third down conversion offensively, and defensively, they are some of the best in the country. Third down and 4 from the 32. Red Raiders on their own side of the 50. Here's a quarterback sweep to the right, running behind his blockers, and Marion will stop him short of the sticks.
Great stop.
They'll get him down to 35. It was a designed quarterback sweep left. Had lots of red jerseys out there, but the Marion defense makes the play. And the clock is now going to run, and they'll have their decision if they want to punt And if they do, they can do it with the wind at their back.
Yeah, that's a great design on that quarterback sweep. They start out with a tight formation, 2 wide receivers on each side. They motion one over to the left towards the field and run sweep that way. Great pursuit from the Marion defense, especially the linebackers Logan Blake and Jake Paris, able to beat Gramstead to the spot, get there before he gets the first down marker, and stop them on third down.
The first quarter here in Iowa comes to a close, and Northwestern College has the game's only touchdown, a 17-yard scamper by their quarterback, Jalen Gramstad. It is 4th and 1. They'll have the wind at their back, and we'll see what Northwestern College wants to do. We're going to take just a 30-second pause. We will be back here as you're listening to Marion Playoff Football on the ISC Sports Network.
Northwestern Football would like to thank our gold sponsors, American State Bank, City of Orange City, Iowa State Bank. Our silver sponsors, 4-Way Contracting, Paul and Deb Jansen, Northwestern Bank, People's Bank, Premier Bank, Premier Communications, Shelling Construction, and Wowstra Meat Market. Thanks for supporting today's NAIA Playoff Football game.
I'm Scott McCauley along with Zach Graves. And welcome back to Orange City, Iowa, 660 miles away from campus. And Marion playing in the quarterfinals for the second straight year at Northwestern College. Marion's season ended last year in these group of 8. They're trying to extend it and move to be one of the last 4 teams. Northwestern College elects to punt. Wind at their back. A big high moon ball is fielded by Jalen Jennings at the 15-yard line, and he is wrapped up and dropped. Excellent coverage out there in space, and a one-on-one tackle was made. Really good tackle.
But that's the guy that just caught that punt, Jalen Jennings. That's who I want to see involved today. He had a really big game in the finale of the season against Lawrence Tech. 5 catches, 85 yards. Not very involved last week. I would like to see him get some of those quick passes, get him out in space, try to just create a play with his speed and talent.
Jennings is out there. He is the wide receiver. Far end of the field, 2 wide receivers out to the right. Ben Stevens, the lone wide receiver to the left. Zach Bundalo in this offense has had nothing going on their first 3 touches. Bundalo turns, gives it to Christian Hunter, makes a great cutback, lowers his shoulder, and carries the ball out to the 24-yard line, out near the 25. Good first look and move by Christian Hunter.
Really good move there to bounce it out, but not too far. Was able to cut it up right after he bounced it outside. He looks explosive today. After the Concordia game, he got kind of banged up, and he hasn't looked himself the last couple weeks, but so far today, he looks explosive again.
That is an 11-yard carry. He will have the first down. Fresh set of downs now for Marion. Bundalo just 1 of 2 passing here in the early going. On the other side, Northwestern's quarterback 5 of 7. Marion going into this 20-mile-an-hour wind. Play action, Bundalo, deep down in the middle of the field. Tight end Byerly has it bounce off his hands. It is intercepted at the 40 by Noah Vanthoff.
Oh, man, that's tough. That's really tough. It was a perfect throw, Scott. I mean, Bundalo off the play action, delivered it perfectly. Byerly had his guy beat by 1.5 yards, had the ball in his hands, bounces off his chest as he tries to bring it in. It hangs up in the air, and Vanthoff able to come in, the All-American safety, with his 3rd interception of the season.
11th of his career.
That was tough.
I would have liked to have seen that play action with the wind at their back.
Right.
Not into the wind, because it did hang up a little bit.
A little bit.
But they had it was there. Byerly just couldn't have it come in. And the turnover now. And the Red Raiders are in business at the 41-yard line after the game's first turnover. 14-15 to play. They have the wind at their back. Their quarterback stands, drops back, looking deep. Now he'll run up, and Tyler Bucher grabs him behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of green space.
Yeah.
If Bucher doesn't make that play, great tackle by number 33 in white.
Yeah, that's why I said barely. It was a good job by the defensive line to really collapse that pocket. And as Gramstead steps up and tries to get away, you said it. There was 15 yards of no Marion players as all the routes were go routes and deep posts and down the field. If Bucher doesn't grab onto him, that is a first down and probably a lot more.
And Bucher gets credit for the sack, his 5th of the season, 13.5 of his career, a junior from Valparaiso, Indiana. 2nd down and 13. They'll float this along the far sideline. Jake Paris is in coverage, and a flag will come down.
It's a penalty.
And they will get the linebacker for interfering on the running back on the far sideline.
It's the right call, Scott. It's a wheel route out of the backfield for McCauley. Jake Paris is lined up against him, never turned his head around. He's looking at McCauley the entire time. As the ball comes in, it hits Jake Paris in the back of the head because he never turned his head around, and that is a good call, good catch by this Sooner crew here. And pass interference, 15 yards, first down for Northwestern.
Already 3 penalties now for Marion. 2 of them have gone for 15 yards. That's an automatic first down. You move the football into Knights territory. So the line of scrimmage is the 47-yard line. 4 wide receivers out. Now they move the 2 on the left in tight. Single back. Well, this looks like some kind of quarterback move right here. Gramstead drops back. Pressure coming from the outside. Dion Pettiford knocked the ball loose. Gramstead picked it up off of the bounce turf and throws it away.
Wow.
Pettiford got that ball, knocked it out of his hand, but it bounced right back to number 12 in the red jersey, and he threw it away.
Yeah, it bounced back to him immediately. There was no scramble for it. It just bounced right back into his hands as he got away and then makes the right decision to throw the ball away. But it's a good sign that Marion is getting that pressure, and they're getting to Gramstead. That is huge today. The key is not to let him escape and then use his legs. As long as they're able to get quarterback hurries and hits on him, get him down to the ground and force him to throw that ball away. Do not let him escape. So far, so good for Marion.
2nd down and 10 from the 47. Gramstead hands it off to his running back. That time the defensive end, Pettiford, bear hugs him and tosses him down to the ground for a loss of 1.
Yeah, they got to be good today. This defensive line has to be good today. So far already, we've seen Apata make a play. We've seen Majors make a play. We've seen Bucher and Pettiford make a play. These guys cannot let up. They cannot have an off series. They have to be able to get pressure on Gramstead because of the way they spread everything out, moving these routes down the field. There's no one there in that middle range of the field if Gramstead gets away. So defensive line so far playing well. They have to continue that all afternoon.
3rd down and 11. Little confusion on the defensive line right now. 3rd and 11 from the 48. Gramstead drops back, throws it over the middle. It is caught. First down, and then the tackle, and you'll have a face mask penalty on Ricky Kwok. So it's a first down, and it will be another 15-yard penalty on this Marion defense, and the defensive coordinator, Tyler Stinn, is livid with this group. Miscommunication leaving that man wide open.
Yeah, you saw a lot of talking before the snap. You mentioned that. They run a perfect route there to find that hole in the zone, and Marion on 3rd and long brings in an extra safety to account for those deeper routes, and he's still able to find a hole in that zone, get the catch, and then you add on the extra 15. Just this team, Northwestern, they're plenty good enough offensively. They don't need the extra 30 yards that Marion has granted them so far with these penalties on defense.
You're looking right now. That's the 3rd 15-yard penalty on the Marion Knights. Again, one of the most penalized teams in the NAIA. Gramstead, great protection, throws way high, and it was over everybody. The closest man was Nate Fry at the 5-yard line as the ball skips into the end zone.
Yeah, so they're running a wheel route again. This time it's covered very well by Marion's defense, and by the time Gramstead decided that he's not going to be able to throw that wheel route, he wasn't sure where he was going to go with the ball, and I think last second he was just like, I'm just going to put a lot on this to make sure it's a throwaway. That way no turnover or anything like that. So actually a good decision there from him.
2nd down and 10 from the 21-yard line. The quarterback, the white helmet, red jersey, stands in the shotgun, moves a man in motion, a wide receiver. They'll sweep it out to their running back on the right side, and he's gobbled up and dropped down. Trevor Adler and Chauncey Mays combine on the tackle inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by Mays. He was able to bring him down. Gets a little help from Adler, as you said. Creates 3rd down. Big one again. Once again, they're driving. They're in field goal range with the wind at their back, so probably going to get points here. Just make sure they don't get 7. We mentioned that last year. Marion had to settle for a lot of field goals in this game, and that's what they want to force Northwestern to do, because Northwestern is going to move the football today. Just don't let them get in the end zone.
Yeah, they have the wind at their back and already leading by 7. The Red Raiders with the football on 3rd down and 8 from the 19. Grabstead drops back, floats this toward the corner of his end zone. He's got a man there, and it's a touchdown catch over 2 white jerseyed Marion defenders. Michael Story hauls in his 10th touchdown of the year.
Unbelievable.
What a throw.
Unbelievable pass from Gramstead. The way he dropped that in there on the sideline, like you said, 2 Marion people are right there. I mean, wow. Just wow. I don't even have words. That pass was insane.
They dropped it right over the 2 defensive backs who were there, right along the wide sideline, back corner of the end zone, and Marion is now down by 2 touchdowns with 11:15 to go, and it's an offense that has generated nothing thus far.
Nothing. And I know it's something as simple as 1 penalty, but it's on the 2nd drive. It is a first down. That 15-yard face mask from Dylan brings them back. They got a punt. I mean, it's tough. They just haven't been able to get anything going, and penalties have killed them on both sides of the ball already. And we mentioned that. I mean, 7 a game, 80 yards a game, penalties already, 4 for 40, whatever it is. It's just too many. You can't do it against a team this good.
So they have touchdowns now of 17 yards and 19 yards, and the Marion Knights backs against the wall, trailing it now 14-zip. And they have to go into this 20-mile-an-hour wind. And that's a touchdown drive that was aided by the interception. That is just the 3rd touchdown the defense has allowed when the offense turns the ball over. That was the 12th turnover that the Marion offense hands over, and the 3rd time the defense gave up points. Pretty good, but this one happens in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. This kick with the wind at the back will sail way over the head of Jalen Jennings, All-American kick returner last year. And Marion now has to take over at the 25-yard line. I know this is a team that wants to establish the run. They don't want to get away from their identity.
Right.
But they're down by 14 points with plenty of time to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and the one that hurt the most about that one is its points off turnovers. The pick leads to a touchdown. Marion this season, 103+ on points off turnovers, only allowed 13 going into this game.
Yeah.
So that, again, is just crucial.
All right, Zach Bundelow now moving from left to right. Claps his hands, has the snap, turns, gives to Christian Hunter, and the defense is stringing him out. He plants his foot, is able to move it up 5 yards to the 30-yard line. He was dancing, trying to find a hole as he worked the right side.
Oh, my, Darren Dillon. He had major contact on that pull up at the 2nd level on linebacker number 38, Ben Kingery. I wish I could have heard that because it looked like a major collision. Hunter goes right off of it and picks up 5.
All right, this offense needs to get some juice and move this ball. They need to find some points on the board on this drive. Bundelow, he turns, sticks it in the belly of Christian Hunter. He now is able to bounce it outside, and he will have a first down run out to the 36-yard line. Good physical run by number 4.
And I like the answer right away. No hanging heads just because it's 14-0. Just get going. And so far, 2 runs on this drive both looked really good. Offensive line is playing well today. It's a lot of contact. It's a physical game. You can tell up here already.
Marion is 7th in the country, scoring 41 points per game. That's what they scored in their opening round win of the playoffs. So this is an offense more than capable of putting up points. Bundelow is going to put this in the air, double clutch, and he dumps it low. It was a bad throw out into the flat. His safety valve was the running back, but an uncatchable ball to Hunter.
Yeah, and it's not like Bundelow is like scared right now. It's this coverage from Northwestern. They're not really letting any white jerseys go open. And Bundelow has nowhere to go with the ball. By the time he decides to dump it down, there's some pressure coming, and he just wasn't able to deliver it from Hunter. I mean, it's just covered up. Everything's covered up so far. Northwestern doing a really nice job.
4 wide receivers split out. One of them, the tight end, Drew Byerly. Here's 2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. 10:09, clock stops in the 2nd quarter. Marion trailing 14-zip in the playoffs. Bundelow drops back. A long throw here to the knee side. Caught by T-Ray Spence, but immediately 2 red jerseys wrap him up, and nowhere to go for Spence after he makes the catch. Good gain out to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 5, but nothing after the catch.
Yeah, exactly. It still gained 5 yards, but as soon as T-Ray caught that, he started to go backwards. Where are you going? No, go back up the field. He's able to get a couple more, but with those red jerseys right by him, they bring him down. So 3rd and 5 here around the 40-yard line. Gotta get a first down.
This is one you absolutely need to get. Marion's 2nd in the country in 3rd down conversions. Defensively, Northwestern allows just 28% of 3rd downs to be converted. Bundalo on 3rd and 5 sets up a wide receiver screen.
Hated it.
And the Red Raiders just eat it alive.
I hated that.
Eat it alive. They'll lose 3, and the Knights will punt down by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It's a screen to Ben Stevens. There's too much space for the linemen to cover to pick up those defensive backs. Not to mention, no one was fooled on Northwestern side. Everyone is around the ball. On 3rd down and 5, tough call. Good stop from Northwestern.
Well, now Soper has to punt into this wind. Gets a low liner that will land at the 40, takes a good bounce, and it will go out at the 35-yard line. That was a big drive right there that Marion ends up having to punt it away. They can't convert on 3rd down and 5, and now you need this defense to step up. And look, you can't ask them from here on out to pitch a shutout, but
exactly,
they're going to have to do their best to try and clamp down this powerful Red Raiders offense, because any more points and Marion could be in some serious trouble.
Yeah, and they kind of already are. I mean, it's just so quick. This team is so good at home, 6-0 at home this year. Good offense, good defense. Marion just hasn't been able to find their footing yet.
Let's see if the Knights can force a turnover here. They have knocked the ball loose one time. Here's a handoff to the running back. He slips through a hole out to the 45, cuts back at the 50, into Marion territory, and a big run on 1st down to the Knights' 44-yard line.
What a great block up front. Jawan Grant able to pick up the linebacker, I believe it was Logan Blake. Then the outside guy was able to block Bucher, and it wasn't much of a hole, Scott, but McCauley able to kind of squirt through there, and by the time he did, there's nobody else there. Big run.
Yeah, big run out into Marion territory at the 44-yard line. A 20-yard run on 1st down, and now the Red Raiders in Knights territory, moving from right to left. Gramstad play action, drops back, throws this ball deep towards the end zone. Michael Story is there. He lays out, makes the diving catch on Jay-Sean Underwood in coverage.
Are you kidding me? I am astonished. That was an incredible catch. He laid all the way out, Scott. Wow. Good. As soon as it hit the 2nd quarter, this team knows where they're playing. They're used to this here in Iowa with this open field and this wind, and they game planned it perfectly on both of those throws.
I think you hit it on the head. Northwestern College, when they've had the wind, I think they've used it the right way.
100%.
I think they've used it the right way. The extra point is good. This score right now is 21-zip. This is the largest deficit that Marion has faced this whole season. I like the approach that they're having right now in this offense. When they have the wind at their back, they get that 20-yard run. They do a play action. Offensive coordinator Jake Minich is like, we've got the wind. I want to air it out.
And they have. They absolutely have, and it's Michael Story both times. He is their leading receiver. That's now 10 and 11 touchdowns this season. The balls from Jalen Gramstad were perfect. They're perfect throws in the same spot down there on the left side of that end zone. I mean, I don't have a lot of words right now. It's just a perfect execution so far from the Red Raiders.
All right, now it's time for Marion to do something that we rarely see from them. When they fall behind like this, it's not great under Coach Mark Henniger. Although it's an offense that can put up points, it's not one that becomes extremely explosive. Well, now you've got to take offensive coordinator Andy Mitchell, and whatever that plan was, you now have to erase that plan and go to work. Now, Marion last year was able to make this a good game because they had good breakout runs, and Bundalo was able to catch fire. He's going to need to do that right now with 8 minutes to go, and it's a 3-touchdown deficit. Jalen Jennings has this kick sail into the middle of the end zone. A little frustration there for number 14. Just couldn't bing that ball out, and Marion starts at the 25.
It just feels like It's happened so fast. I mean, we are 7 minutes into the second quarter, so 22 minutes into the game, and they have 21 points on the board. A couple 3-and-outs, a turnover, and the Red Raiders are moving the ball and they are scoring. It's just it's tough. It's not like you can't come back and win this game, but you got to get something going right away.
You do. Right now, Marion is down lopsided in the yardage, 197 to 41, and here comes another penalty. That's the part that's starting to drive you nuts right now with this squad is too many penalties.
They came out flat, and now they're not locked in, down 21-0. I mean, it does not look pretty.
All right, now we've got the ball at the 20-yard line, first down and 15. Darren Dillon, fifth-year senior, the center, bends out over that football. Now looks back over his left shoulder as he hears an instruction from his quarterback, Zach Bundalo. Marion needing points on this drive. Bundalo, the quarterback, moves the running back to his side. They'll give it to Hebler, and Marion will churn his legs for 3 yards.
Not much there. Not much there. Good job by the front seven of Northwestern, able to just close any gap that Hebler thought he had when he received the ball. And Parker Fryer among those in for that tackle.
7:32, clock running just before halftime. Second quarter action, Marion trailing 21-0 here in the quarterfinals. Their season ended here at Northwestern College a year ago. They came in confident, wanting to be very physical. Right now, they're down by 21. Bundalo forced to roll out of the pocket. He'll now run out to the 25, angles to the sideline, braces for contact, shy of the 30-yard line.
And again, Bundalo, there's nowhere to go with football. He's just not confident right now in his reads. He's not getting rid of. One thing about Bundalo this whole year, we've talked about how efficient he's been, how accurate he's been. Most of those are quick reads. Boom. As soon as he sees it, he lets it go. Early on in this game so far, he's not seeing it. He's not seeing it, so he's not confident. Again, he has to bring the ball down and scramble and only picks up a couple.
Third down and 7. It was a 5-yard game, but because of the false start penalty, put you back facing 1st and 15. It's a long third down. Bundalo has a man wide open, and it's through the hands of Jacob Pressler. He had to adjust back on it, but it went right through his fingertips and palms, and Marion has to punt it away down by 3 touchdowns.
Adjust or not, Scott, you got to catch that pass. Yep. You have to. It's third down along the sideline. He gets past the cornerback who's playing the flat and in front of the safety who's playing the deeper zone. He's wide open. You got to catch the ball. He doesn't catch it, and Marion's going to have to punt away again.
Man, that's a senior dropping that ball. That would have been huge. That would have been out near the 45-yard line. Instead, you have to punt it away. Soper into the wind, a low line drive punt, and it'll be picked up on a bounce at the 35-yard line, and the returner, Ty Schaefer, brings it out near towards his own sideline. All right, Marion down 21-0 right now here in the quarterfinals. 6:22 to go. Last 2 times that the Raiders have had the ball, they have scored touchdowns, and they've been touchdown passes from their quarterback, Gramstad, to Michael Story, the senior wide receiver. One of 19 yards and another one of 44 yards where he laid out full extension of the diving catch, beating Jay Sean Underwood. Trips to the right here on first down and 10. And the quarterback, the zone read, keeps it himself, and Logan Blake drags the quarterback down after he regained 2 out to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, and don't expect Northwestern to let up because it's 21-0. They still have the wind at their back. They start out with a quarterback design run, but expect another deep shot on this drive. No doubt in my mind we're going to see another one, probably to Michael Story, but obviously Cade Moser a good option as well.
Yeah, they have that wind at their back. 5:50 clock running, second quarter, 3-touchdown lead. The Red Raiders have the football. They'll drop back on 2nd and 8, throw it into the flat. The tight end caught it, and then the ball popped right out of his hands, out of bounds, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's a very good tight end. He is third on the team in receptions with 34 for 429 yards and 4 touchdowns. Very good target, 6'4", 225 yards. Gramstad likes to go to him in those intermediate routes like that quick out we just saw. Has the ball, tries to turn upfield. Contact comes from Nate Fry, loses it, incomplete.
You know, Gramstad, the quarterback, averages about 164 yards passing a game. He has 126 through a quarter and a half, including 2 touchdowns. A 3-touchdown lead for Northwestern College. 3rd down and 8. Dakari Kenny, pressure, pass caught. 1st down, turning upfield and picking up 10 extra yards as Cade Mosier, the quarterback, paid for it when he threw it, but his wide receiver picks him up and moves it into Marion territory.
Well, Coach Ten brings pressure with the safety blitz once again. Clay Campbell, he makes contact, but with him gone, there's one less player for Marion in the secondary. So now it's a one-on-one situation for the receiver. Gramstad knows he's going to take that contact, hangs in there, delivers the ball. 1st down, Red Raiders.
21-yard gain to Mosier. And he spun away from a tackle to carry it down to the Marion 40-yard line after catching it at midfield. Gramstad keeps them himself. Logan Blake wraps him up, and now the rest of the white jersey Knights come in, stand him up, and knock him down. Loss on the play. Yeah. 2nd down and long.
Yeah, more pressure. Adler comes off the edge. Griffith comes off the other side. Only one guy there to make that play, and that's Logan Blake. Fortunately for the Knights, he brings Gramstad down.
Loss of 2. 2nd down and 12. Marion trailing 21-0. 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Here in Orange City, Iowa. The campus at Northwestern College on a clear blue sky. 42-degree day, but 20-mile-an-hour winds here in the Plains. Here's a pass into the flat, wide open, and the catch is made, and off to the races is Story as he lowers his shoulder down to the 26-yard line. There was no one within 5 yards of him on that slant.
Yeah, quick slant, and Adler gets out there late. By the time he got there, the ball was already past him. Story catches it, yards after the catch, another 1st down. Just doing whatever they want right now.
A gain of 16 on that slant. It was out to the left, and then he angled his way out to the 26-yard line. 1st down and 10, entering on the verge of the red zone. They have taken some deep shots when they've been in this particular spot already. But the man that's been the recipient of those 2, Story, is on the sideline. Turn, give, and the running back and squirts through a hole, lands on his back at the 22-yard line. Gain of 4.
And this game moving so fast. We're already inside of 4 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, and it is all Northwestern. Every time they get the ball, they're moving right down the field. Every time they're on defense, they're getting stops. It looks like the number 3 team in the country right now.
Yeah, they only lost by 1 point week 1 to the number 1 team in the country, Morningside, a campus that's just located 45 minutes away. These Great Plains Athletic Conference rivals. Marion trailing by 3 touchdowns, 21-zip. 2nd down and 7. Gramstad will now navigate his way. Spins free. Now he'll move back up as he tried to bounce it to the outside, but he comes close to the sticks.
Yeah, was stopped well short, and that second effort bouncing back outside, trying to get that 1st down, came really close. 3rd down and very short.
You know, he played quarterback in high school, but he was in the secondary yesterday. Here's a quick snap, and Marion, I think, hits him right at the sticks. He needed the 21.
He's short. He's right back at the line of scrimmage. It's definitely short of the 1st down. Logan Blake came up big on that one. With some help.
He needed the 16, pardon me.
Yeah, with some help Logan Blake got, and it is 4th down. That's very clear. He was definitely short, but they're going to go.
Yeah, they're going to go for it and figure, hey, if we're up by 3, let's really push the pedal down.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to end this game right now here in this 2nd quarter.
And we're already down to 2 minutes. And then Marion.
2:14, clock is running. They are huddling up.
And Marion's going to have to go into the wind with any time that could be left over.
Yeah, the Marion defense, they line up on the ball. The line of scrimmage right now is the 17-yard line. 4th down and 1. 52% on 4th down tries is this offense. And timeout now will be called as the play clock was winding down to 1. And Northwestern College will discuss this. So it's 4th and 1. You know, you're not seeing a big, huge jumbo set. You're seeing 3 wide receivers out to the left,
that's what they
a
do.
single one out to the right. And, you know, that's kind of how the GPAT plays. And some of these teams out here in the Midwest, they really spread you out with the wide receivers, go with the single back, and they've got a terrific young quarterback in Gramstad. He's only a sophomore, and pretty impressive to be a DB last year. 5 picks, including one against Marion in the playoffs. He didn't even start the first game. Blake Fryer is a senior quarterback. He was supposed to be the guy to lead this team this year.
And his numbers aren't bad in the games that he's played this year. 65%, 990 yards, and 12 touchdowns. This is a guy in Gramstead who's just good.
Yeah.
He is just a good player. And last year they had Koima. So obviously if you got an athlete like Gramstead, you still want to get him on the field, play him somewhere else, DB, whatever it is. Koima was really, really good quarterback. But Gramstead just earned this. He is just an athlete.
And he will stand in the shotgun. 4th down and 1. The Red Raiders going for it from the Marion 17, leading 21-zip. Drops back, looking left. Quick throw, wide open over the middle. Michael Story runs through an arm tackle.
Way too easy.
And he's into the end zone. 17-yard touchdown, his 3rd receiving touchdown here in the first half.
That was just too easy, Scott. I mean, it's just a quick slant right over the middle, one-on-one with the safety. Cuevas just gets beat right off the line. Easy read, pass from Gramstead, and Story does the rest. Gets into the end zone. 28-0.
You know, I give them credit, too, as they come out of the timeout. They want to put Story on the safety. That's what they did.
He's been matched up against Logan Blake. He's been matched up against the safety. Even when he was matched up against Adler, he beat him.
And he's beat Jay-Sean Underwood in man-to-man coverage. He's beat them all today as number 4. The extra point is good. Zach, it's 28-zip.
28-zip.
And we have...
Did not expect that, Scott. I really didn't. I mean, you hear about the GPAC all the time. You see the stats from Northwestern and Morningside, but you're like, they don't play the teams that Marion plays. And then you see them in person. And we weren't here last year. We did not see this game in person. The home field advantage, the athletes, the game plan. They came out here ready to go, and they have put it to the Knights.
Yeah, this will be the 2nd straight year Marion is potentially facing elimination here at Northwestern College. Morningside, the number 1 team in the country right now. Early on in the 2nd quarter, they lead Kaiser 21-3. Indiana Wesleyan, after 3 quarters, they now lead Benedictine 24-13.
Yeah.
And you've got Lindsey Wilson and Grandview tied at 7, 3 minutes to go before halftime.
What was the Grandview score?
7-7, Lindsey Wilson and Grandview.
Okay.
Here, Marion trails 28-0.
It just happened so fast. I mean, they just came out swinging.
3 touchdown passes here in this quarter. Their quarterback, Gramstead, has accounted for all 4 scores. He had a rushing touchdown while they were going into the wind in the first quarter. And 3 passing touchdowns with this 20-mile-an-hour wind at his back. This kick with the wind at the back will sail almost through the uprights. And Marion now into the wind with 1:42. And boy, they really have to regroup here. And they're just going to have to come out, get creative on offense, find some matchups of their own. They need to start to isolate some of their guys on some of these linebackers and safeties and see what they can pull off.
Yeah, have to. I mean, Ben Stevens, only 2 catches today, 3 yards.
Well, Bundelow is just 3 of 7 for 8.
And we've seen a little bit from Hunter, but he only has 4 carries. I mean, they just have gotten nothing.
Marion right now, 49 yards of offense, 260 yards of offense for Northwestern College. Bundelow drops back. Bundelow will throw it. Batted into the air.
Wow.
Incomplete.
Wow.
Defensive end was able to get his paws on it. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, at first I thought it was Tyler Jones, but you're right. It was Corbin Gramstead, the brother of Jalen, able to get his hand on that and break that up. It was open to Hunter. He had some room to run as well, but making plays, Northwestern.
That was the 20th play run by Marion. 35 offensive snaps for Northwestern College. 4 of those snaps resulting in touchdowns. They lead 28-zip. Bundelow hit as he moves his arm forward. They have waved it now incomplete as the defense scoops it up. And now Northwestern College, knowing that they have to throw the ball, is just coming right after the Marion quarterback.
They are. They're still only bringing 4 guys, that front 4 for the defensive line. And coming in, only 21 sacks, but they do get pressure, and they get hurries, and they get hits. And everyone for Marion right now, offensively, body language is awful.
28-0. Northwestern College defensively, now they line up, ready to come after the quarterback on 3rd down and 10. Now they'll drop back into coverage. Bundalo takes the snap, and he's going to throw it up top. It's going to be underthrown, and T-Ray Spence actually turns into a DB and knocks the ball away. As the defensive back playing underneath was Bryce Paulson. He was in a good spot to try and catch that ball, just hung up in the air.
Hung up in the air into the wind. 2 guys on T-Ray Spence. Is just an uncatchable ball. And as you mentioned, T-Ray did a good job of breaking that up because it was going to be picked.
Bundalo is just trying to make something happen. It's like, I've got a big target out there at 6'1". Let me see if I can throw this up for him to try and make a jump ball play on it. Well, now because they're punting into the wind, and that drive took off a grand total of 15 seconds, Marion defense is going to have to make some kind of stop. And Northwestern College, who is feeling it right now offensively, will start at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and now, a minute 17, wind at their back, all their timeouts. 2 timeouts left, excuse me. They have a good chance of putting up more points here.
They went for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Because they said, let's go up by 4 scores.
Because they can, really.
Yep, let's do it. And now they're thinking to themselves, we can go up by 5 scores, and we can end this game right here at halftime.
Put them away, yep.
Marion, 0 points. The Knights, 2 first downs.
I was going to say 1 first down maybe, but
2 first downs. And they are trailing 28-0. The Red Raiders have the ball. They'll stick it in the belly of the running back. He'll lower his shoulder. The safety, Campbell, makes the initial hit and brings him down. Dakari Kenny was also there to help. Out to the 41-yard line, a gain of 4. Quickly they get up to the line of scrimmage. Gramstad has the snap already. Plants, throws, caught in the flat, first down, spins down to the 50-yard line. Is the tight end. He's been busy already as Blake Anderson. They are at midfield. 55 seconds. Clock stops to reset the chains. Gramstad now, as the clock runs at 50, takes it, drops back. Time. Throws over the middle. Caught by the tight end Anderson.
Goodness.
And then he spins over a body. Campbell trying to tackle him down to the 21-yard line.
Goodness. I mean, quick out to Anderson on the play before. Now just a quick post. And he's one-on-one both times. Both receptions, moving the ball.
48 yards and 2 passes to the tight end. Gramstad now rolls out, and he'll throw this ball away. Nobody was there. Good job defensively. They had all the red jerseys covered to the Marion secondary.
Well, the only reason is because Blake Anderson, the tight end who caught the previous 2 passes, trips in his route. He had a nasty move in one-on-one with Jake Paris as he cuts back to the inside on another post. After the move to the outside to sell it, he trips. And if he didn't, it's another touchdown. I mean, Gramstad had his eyes on Anderson the whole way. If he doesn't trip, it's another touchdown.
Line looking for their 5th score, 4th of this quarter. Gramstad plants, avoids a rush, throws it down low, and it was batted up and nearly intercepted by Jake Paris. He had great coverage on the tight end Anderson.
He had a chance. He tipped it up to himself, had a hand on it again, incomplete. And, yeah, they might not have got anything out of it points-wise with 19 seconds, but you prevent points.
That was the first real bad throw and force of the first half.
It was.
Gramstad, and he almost paid for it. 3rd down and 10 from the 21 with 19 seconds left. Marion down 28-0. 3 wide receivers left. 1 right. Gramstad drops back. Pressure. Forces him out to his left, throws on the run. It's caught, and it will be down to the first down and out of bounds. Move the chains. They were able to get that ball down to the 10-yard line with Cade Mosier catching it and then running for the extra yardage.
I've been blown away so far today with how open these guys are. And every situation is a one-on-one situation where they have their guy beat by 1.5 yards or more. They're just really good, these receivers and tight end, at getting open, and Graham said accurately delivering the ball and moving down the field at will right now.
12 seconds on the clock. First down goal to go from the 10. You would think maybe at most 2 plays. Gramstead will do a quarterback run. Now he'll stop, throw the ball wide open in the end zone for the 4th time in the second quarter is Michael Story, the wide receiver.
How?
He started to run up the middle. It looked like the quarterback draw, but he knew where the line of scrimmage was. He stopped. The defense sucked up, and Story was all alone on the far right corner. He has 4 receiving touchdowns here in the second quarter with the wind at his back.
Goodness. I mean, that's a design play. I'm still here just sitting here baffled at how good that was. He comes up like it's a quarterback draw and then throws the ball to a wide open guy because everyone thinks he's running the football. That was extremely impressive. And Northwestern, oh my goodness, 35-0 in the first half. Whew. Ouch.
4 touchdown passes in the second quarter. They had the wind at their back, and they used it.
Yeah, they did.
They said, we've got the wind at our back. We are going to throw this ball. And they're doing it against one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah, that too.
Marian giving up just 171 yards passing on the season. 239 right now for Northwestern.
It just feels like they came out and just gigantic gut punch right to Night Nation. Man, tough half.
Boy, first quarter they get the rushing touchdown at 7-zip and they explode. For 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. 35-0 here in the quarters. And there's 7 seconds to play before halftime. And with this 20-mile-an-hour wind, you expect this kick to end up in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
And then Marion probably takes the knee, and we roll to halftime. Here's the kick. And it does sail into the end zone over the head of both Ben Stevens and Jalen Jennings. And here comes the Marion offense. Well, 323 yards of total offense for Northwestern College, 49 for Marion.
In a half.
17 first downs. Marion has 2. The Knights 0 for 6 on third down. Northwestern College is 5 of 9. Marion will just take the knee. And they'll say mercy at the end of the first half. And the Red Raiders explode for 28 second quarter points. And they lead 35-0 at the half as we have hit the zeros. Well, with this broadcast being audio on ISC Network, we don't have any commercials to run or any type of filler for you. We're just going to try and paint the picture of what you just saw. So Zach and I are going to take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute, and we'll tell you what's going on here in this one and take a look around the rest of the playoffs as Marion is taking one right now, down 35-0 at the half here on the road at Northwestern College in the quarterfinals on the ISC Sports Network. I'm Scott McCauley along with Zach Graves. We are back here at halftime, and Northwestern College, the Red Raiders, ranked third in the country, 10-1. Their lone loss by one single point week one against the number one team in the country, Morningside. Leads Marian here at halftime 35-0. Zach, I don't even have the energy to look in the game notes to see the last time Marion had an opponent give up 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. Since you and I have been broadcasting games, for me it's since 2014. For you, it hasn't been that long, but it's been, 7 years?
Yeah.
We don't have to look at the game notes to try and find when was the last time something like that happened, because I can't think of a time.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, I cannot think of a time where I have looked to my right at a football stadium and I have seen the scoreboard have Marion with a 0 and the other team with a 35. Give all the credit right now to Northwestern College. They are explosive. They have a terrific wide receiver in Michael Story. He is a all-league wide receiver. He's 6'3", 190 pounds. The senior thus far has 7 catches for 138 yards, 4 touchdowns, all of that coming in the second quarter. And what I give credit to Northwestern College with is he has Marion's top cover corner. He has beaten a linebacker. He has beaten a safety. They have put him in positions to succeed, and their quarterback has found them. That was a clinic what they just put on right there in the first half.
That's the best way to put it. I mean, passing, rushing, they did whatever they wanted to. They had really no negative plays. Even on a play where Marion felt like they got a win, it was still a 4-yard gain. I mean, it was just from the jump, Scott. I was just right away, just punch right in the mouth. And it happened really fast, and Marion got themselves behind with a couple penalties that really hurt them. And you could see the body language, just the whole life of this Marion team just kind of get sucked right out of their body. And it's like you said, we just haven't really ever seen this before from a Marion Knights team, and it's just tough to watch, honestly.
Well, now for the coaching staff and Mark Henniger, it's 35-0. Okay, we are going to sit back, relax, try and clear that palate of that taste from that first half, and say, hey, what is the greatest comeback in NAIA football history? But here's the reality now. This coaching staff has to find a way to get this team to compete for the final 30 minutes. So often you and I are on the other side wondering, how does the team Marion's playing get up and compete when they're down 35-0? Now it's the Knights that have to answer that question. For the first time, they are going to face a painful adversity here in this second half. And look, it's 35-0. They've got to find a way to keep it at that number and chip away and see what can happen. These coaches now have to find a way to bring this team out here. All these fifth-year seniors right now, all these seniors that walked on that final home day, reality now is crashing on them. They have to find a way to get out there for those final 30 minutes.
Yeah, and so the thing I'm thinking is Northwestern scored 35 points, right? So it's not impossible to do it in a half, but Northwestern, every time they touched the ball, scored, or pretty much. They're at the beginning,
that second
maybe?
Quarter, yeah.
Yeah, so there is no room for it. It's not impossible, right? It's not impossible, but there is almost zero room for error. So the Knights have to come out firing. They have to be moving the ball, no mistakes. They have to hope to get lucky with a turnover or something like that. Again, not impossible, but it's going to have to be flawless.
Only one turnover in that first half. That was an interception. Marion was actually trailing 7-0. They had a good play on first down, and then they went to a play-action pass. After an 11-yard run, they went to a play-action pass. That was into the wind, but Drew Byerly, the tight end, was there at about the 40-yard line. It would have been good for about a 30-yard pass completion down the middle. It bounced off his hands. He was covered by someone, but it was right there for him to grab.
Yeah, he had him beat.
He had him beat. Ball tipped up into the air. It was intercepted by one of the top safeties in the country, and Noah Van Hoff, his career 11th interception, 3rd of the season. He picks it off, and then 8 plays later, it's a touchdown. The next time that they touch the ball, it's 2 plays, touchdown. And then Northwestern gets it again, 8 plays, touchdown. And then with a minute 17 to go in the first half, they get the ball back. They're like, we already have 28 points. Let's see what we can do. 7 plays they ran in the final minute 17 touchdown. So after that INT, they went 4 for 4 on possessions, all 4 passing touchdowns to Michael Story. Pretty incredible.
It was, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just at times I was lost for words. It was so good. They just, a domination, really.
Yep. So in the first half, Northwestern College, 323 yards of total offense. Marion with only 47. Now the Knights, 5 penalties for 48 yards. And folks, a couple of those were really big ones. Really bad 15-yard penalties that the Marion team found. 1 penalty for 10 yards for the Red Raiders. The Red Raiders, 17 first downs, Marion with 2. The Knights 0 for 6 on third down. The Red Raiders 5 of 9, and they were 1 for 1 on fourth down was Northwestern College, and that was a touchdown pass. They went for it from 17 yards out on 4th and 1, and that was their 4th touchdown of the game. They're 4 for 4 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. When I look at the Marion line, the deepest that Marion has been able to drive the ball thus far would be the 38-yard line. They're at the 38-yard line. Their own 38-yard line is the farthest the Marion's offense has been able to drive this ball right now. Jalen Gramstad, 15 to 22, 239 yards, 4 touchdowns. Running the ball, Connor McQuillan, 12 carries, 51 yards, and the quarterback has added 33 yards rushing of his own on 8 carries. The big story is wide receiver Michael Story, 7 catches, 138 yards, 4 touchdowns, all coming in the second quarter. Blake Anderson, the tight end, 4 catches for 52 yards. Cade Mosier, wide receiver, 4 catches for 49 yards. Just 3 players have caught passes from Gramstad, and they have totaled 239 yards through the air. Zach Bundelow, just 3 of 10 passing in the first half for 8 yards. Christian Hunter, 4 carries for 29 yards. Baron Hebler, 5 carries for 10 yards. Zach Bundelow did have 4 rushes due to sacks and whatnot, no yards rushing. For Marion, 39 yards on the ground. Receiving, Ben Stevens, 2 catches, 3 yards. T-Ray Spence, 1 catch for 5 yards. Just an absolute dominating performance by the 3rd-ranked team in the country, the Red Raiders. And they have come in and they have had their way right now with Tyler Stinn's defense, and it is a very, very good Marion defense that has just been beaten soundly in that second quarter.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about the different look that they got, and you don't see a lot of run-first quarterbacks, and you do see some spread, but it wasn't just the look, it was the game plan. I mentioned also Red Raiders have a guy one-on-one every time. They have they've been able to get separation. They've been able to run the ball effectively. They've done the quarterback runs, the draws, the long passes, the short passes. It's just everything. And it's just been a storm, really, just a constant pressure since the beginning kickoff.
Yep. Right now, Marion is trailing 35-0 at the half. Zach and I will step aside this time for 2 minutes, and we come back. We'll continue here at the half. Marion is trailing here in the quarterfinals on the road by 5 touchdowns. You're listening to the Knights and the NAIA Football Championship Series playoffs on the ISC Sports Network. I'm Scott McCauley along with Zach Graves. And we are back here in Orange City, Iowa, 660 miles away from campus. And things have not gone well for Marian here in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. 8 teams left playing in the playoffs, and Marion's season right now is looking at its final 30 minutes as they trail 35-0 at halftime. You know, as we were getting ready to do this broadcast, and we knew that we wouldn't be on television and we wouldn't be on any local radio, so ISC Network says, hey, we can pick this up, we can airstream the audio of it. A lot of people, I heard from a lot of people via text, you did too, from the coaches, hey, let's get the reaction cam back on Graves. Yeah. Good thing we didn't have the reaction cam.
No doubt.
Yeah, because you right now would see a couple of kind of stunned faces, frustrating faces. And look, we're just the broadcasters, and you're the fans, and you're the family that has the kids out there that are doing all the work. You know, these coaches right now are just gutted inside. So are the players. And you've got 30 more minutes of football left as the Knights are trailing here at halftime by a score of 35-0. It appears Indiana Wesleyan, in their first official trip to the postseason, they qualified last year, but had a player ineligible during the regular season, so they had to forfeit that first playoff game. They are going to head to the semifinals. They will be one of 4 teams left playing. The champions in Marion's division, the Mid-States Football Association Mid-East side. They lead right now 24-13 at home over Benedictine. At halftime at Grandview. I think this is a game a lot of people thought would be very good. 2 outstanding defenses. Lindsey Wilson and Grandview are tied at 7 right now at halftime. Marion trailing 35-0 at the half, and at halftime right now, about 45 miles away in Sioux City, Iowa, Morningside, the number 1 team in the country, is leading 21-10. So now you're looking at potentially Morningside and Northwestern perhaps hosting semifinal games, depending on if Lindsey Wilson can pull off the upset. And Indiana Wesleyan, who is the 4 seed, they know that they'll be traveling somewhere in all likelihood based on where their seeding is. So that's a look at what's going on around college football and the NAIA playoffs here in the FCS playoffs. Well, Marion gives up 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. That's the first time an opponent has scored 4 touchdowns in a game against a Marion team since the 2008 season.
How long ago?
And as we
2008?
all kind of work that back in our minds, you're talking about Marion football in its infancy when that happens.
Yeah.
And this one is really stunning. And it was just 4 terrific passes. It was Michael Story, who is an outstanding wide receiver, making some incredible catches, and you've got a sophomore quarterback making some incredible throws.
Slinging it.
And I thought their offensive coordinator, Jake Minich, he went after it.
He did.
He put his guys in a position. It forced Tyler Stinn to have to get creative sometimes on that back end. I thought Marion did get excellent pressure. That defense was able to get there, but that quarterback was able to make plays with his legs and then with his arm, and it's 35-0 right now here at halftime. Have you ever been in a locker room like that?
I've been very fortunate in my career to play for really good programs at Warren and Marion, and there was after the 4-peat at Warren my junior year, we lost pretty handily in the first round of the playoffs, and it was a similar situation as that. So, yes, I have experienced it once before, and it sucks. It sucks, and it's really tough to get yourself going and come back out knowing that you're most likely going to get eliminated. Again, not impossible, but to get everyone juiced up for that is a heavy task.
Yeah, and look, analytics tell you what's the win probability chart. Look, it's
below 5%.
It's under 1%.
It's under 1.
Now.
Okay,
Look, you got to look at it for where it is. But you're right. But now it's on these coaches, and you start to think now about the players that have been here for so long and a part of this program with Ben Stevens and Jacob Pressler, 2 fifth-year wide receivers. You've got Darren Dillon on the offensive line, a 5th-year senior. You start to think about those guys as they realize now the career is winding down. Zach Bundala will have a decision to make as well. He has played now. This is a redshirt junior. He's 4 years through college. He will graduate, but he has the opportunity to come back for a 5th year. But then you look on the defensive side of the ball. Guys like Logan Blake in his 5th season, Chauncey Mays, Tyler Majors. Fifth-year guys, both going to Lawrence North. You're talking about playing football next to each other perhaps 8, 9, 10-plus years, depending on where they were in middle school. They're down to their final 30 minutes here in a Marion uniform. It's going to be tough to see how this thing goes on. But then maybe right now you come in there and you're Andy Mitchell in the offensive quarter and say, let's just throw this thing around.
Yeah.
It's time for us to go.
Yeah.
You have to 100%. You can't leave anything out there.
Right.
And you've got to start to convert. And I think the big thing is avoid penalties, and you've got to have success on first down. You don't want to be forced to have a 4th and 9 from your own 28 and be like, all right, we can't afford to punt. We have to score about every time we touch the ball. But if we don't get this here, the game is, in fact, over.
Exactly.
So you don't want to be in those type of positions when you make those type of calls. So we'll see. Marion will receive the second half kick. And then we'll see what that offense can dial up for there. As Northwestern College is in command, a 4-touchdown second quarter. They lead it by a score of 35-0. Final time, Zach and I will take a break here at halftime. We come back. Third quarter action, the quarters here in Iowa. You're listening to Marion Knights football on the ISC Sports Network. Along with Zach Graves, I'm Scott McCauley, and welcome back to Northwestern College, where Marion had their season end a year ago. A thrilling quarterfinal game. They lost 25-0, and Marion now 30 minutes away from having a repeat loss in the quarters here at the home of the Red Raiders. But this story is a little different. They trail 35-0. 4 touchdowns scored by Northwestern College. First time that's happened against a Marion team since 2008. All right, Marion will get the ball to open up this third quarter, and they will go into the wind, so they'll have that for them. They'll send Jalen Jennings back deep and Ben Stevens. All of the kickoffs that came with the wind at the back that came off of the foot of Eli Stater all went into the end zone. Marion has not returned to kick. 323 yards of total offense for the home team. The Knights with just 47. 0 for 6 on third downs. Marion running 23 first half plays, 42 plays run by Northwestern College. Number 9, the kicker, set to put it away as his red jersey, white helmet runs up to the ball. He'll kick from right to left. This one into the air will be returnable. Jennings takes it one step deep into the end zone, brings it out to the 10. Jalen Jennings explodes out to the 20. A flag comes down, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Looked like a nice start, but the flag came. It's going to be a holding, blocking the back, something of that nature, and then you know why there was such a big seam on that left side of the kickoff return unit. This one will come back.
So the penalty will move Marion back, and another penalty on the Knights. That will be their 6th penalty of the game. They average 7 a game. And the line of scrimmage now will be the 10-yard line. All right, let's watch and see what the Knights have in store for us here in this second half. I mean, look, you don't worry about the scoreboard right now. You're down 35-0. All that you can do is every time you touch this football, put some points on the board. Zach Bundelow's in the shotgun, turns, hands it off to Baron Hebler, and Hebler is knocked down after a 4-yard gain out to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, so start off on the ground, a couple yards there in the middle, nice blocking up front. Just keep positive gains,
That's it. You don't worry about the scoreboard. You
Right.
see what it is. You realize that you need 5 touchdowns just to tie it up, right? You can't get all of those points here on this drive, but my goodness, you have to dent that scoreboard every time you touch the football here in the second half. And this is an offense that's capable of doing that. Another handoff to Baron Hebler. He jumps over a pile and falls forward to the 17-yard line. And Marion now has a 3rd down and 3. And a must-get 3rd down. 0 for 6 on 3rd downs in the first half.
Yeah, just so out of character for Marion. They just don't do that.
No, the Knights, second-best team converting on 3rd down during the regular season. The best team, their opponent, who's winning right now by 35 points. Bundelow snaps, throws the ball, and it's going to be caught by C.J. Young. Did he catch it? He did not. He dropped it. It hit him right between the blue 1 and the 3. He was wrapped up and dropped it, and they have to punt.
Yeah, it was a perfect slant route right at the sticks. Bundelow delivered it as well as it could be. And C.J. Young, it was decent coverage. He had a guy draped over him, but you said it, right between the 1 and the 3. Got to be a catch. We saw Pressler have a drop in the first half as well. It's just, nothing working for the Knights at all.
0 for 7 now on 3rd down, punting into the wind. And there's a low line drive, fair catch called for at the 47-yard line of Marion. So you're looking at Northwestern College is going to start in Knights territory. The defense sprints out on the field. 13:41 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Line of scrimmage is the 47. A 4-touchdown second quarter. 5 overall in the first half. And the Red Raiders, led by their sophomore quarterback, Jalen Gramstad, come up to the line of scrimmage. A single back. McCauley is behind him. Move a wide receiver in motion. Turn, give to the running back. Chauncey Mays, that big number 0, stuck out his right arm and just clotheslined him and brought him down.
Yeah, he's had a couple nice plays today. He's been a little quiet towards the end of the season. He's also a guy kind of dealing with a lot of injuries and things, not a lot of practice time, but 2 plays today he's made at the line of scrimmage, just trailing that guard, sheds that block, and makes the tackle.
Yeah, he's playing in the middle of that defensive line next to his high school teammate, 2 fifth-year seniors, Majors and Mays in the middle. 2nd down and 10, no gain. Gramstad takes it into the shotgun. Oh, it's intercepted! Go! Logan Blake caught it right in his belly. He's going the other way at the 20, cuts back at the 15. Gramstad knocks it out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
There you go.
And a faint pulse blips on the monitor.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. That is exactly it. I mean, threw it right to him. He just jumps right in front of it. Big return down inside the red zone. Goal-to-go opportunity around the 10 here. Obviously critical. You get 7 points here. Critical.
This is hard to believe, but Logan Blake, that is his 5th career interception. That's the first time he didn't take it back to the house.
Yeah.
His first 4 all went for touchdowns. That time he's tackled at the 10-yard line. First down, goal to go for Marion. They absolutely need this. Bundelow moves Christian Hunter to his left. Bundelow stands at the 15-yard line, takes the snap. Looking left, throws it up for Pressler.
Wow.
Did he make a one-handed catch? Touchdown,
wow.
Marion!
Wow, what a ball. I mean, back shoulder, couldn't have thrown it better. Pressler gets it. Been hot towards the end of the season. He's been looking for number 12 quite a bit. Bundelow, couldn't have been better. Pass was perfect. To the left side of the end zone, back shoulder. Touchdown. Good job. I mean, that was critical that they did that. And like you said, that little bit of life pulse here for the Knights. Still plenty of time to go in the 3rd quarter.
So Marion now has Marlon Pomeli on for the extra point. Jack Henniger, the coach's son, is the holder. Here's the snap. Here's the kick into the wind. And the kick is good. So Marion now trailing 35-7.
Okay.
And guess who? The 5th-year senior, the defensive player of the year in the Mid-States, the co-defensive player, makes the play, and we have seen him do that so much.
So
jump
much.
those routes.
Yeah.
Just be in the right spot at the right time, and number 6 makes the play.
Yeah, it was perfect. I mean, we mentioned how much that Northwestern had just kind of did whatever they want, especially in the pass game. Quick stuff, long stuff, didn't matter. That was just another one of those quick outs where Gramstead just delivers the football, and Logan Blake jumps in front of it, big return, sets up the touchdown. I mean, fifth-year guy, leader, captain, All-American, all that stuff, comes up big.
18th interception for Marion's defense, adding to the school record that they have set this year.
That's a lot.
And that's a big one. The other
a
thing, I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, that woke my partner up a little bit.
It did. I can feel it. You feel it? I feel it.
Yeah, I was a little worried.
You
right
worried
there.
about me? Yeah.
That 3 and out, I thought, I'm losing gravy. I'm losing him. But Logan Blake says, I got you. I'll bring him back. So now the Marion kick team is away. Pomeli into the wind. Short kick. Not much you can do with that wind. It's taken at the 16-yard line. Northwestern College will pull it out to the 27, out towards the 28-yard line. And so now the Marion D, a little bit of life as they jog back onto the field.
A little bit of life, and that's now the 110th point this season for Marion off of turnovers. Could it be enough to get them going for an historic comeback bid? We shall see, but it's a start at least. That I mentioned that in the first half. There was just nothing positive on either side of the ball. That is the first real positive play that Marion has had.
After the interception, Marion needs one play for the 10-yard touchdown pass. The quarterback will now take it, and he'll start to draw. Quarterback run to his right side, almost like a off-tackle sweep.
It is, yeah.
Out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. He'll gain 4.
And it's so tough to defend when you have that extra guy. Usually when you hand off to the running back, your quarterback isn't blocking, so you have one less guy. When the quarterback is running, you have a numbers advantage, and that is why you're now over 800 yards rushing on the season.
Now, you don't want to get away from your game plan, but up by 4 touchdowns and the wind at your back, you have an opportunity to run this quarterback.
Sure.
Do they want to put it in the air? All right, now here's an empty backfield. 2 wide receivers to the right, 3 to the left. Gramstead all alone in the backfield. Marion gets a huge jump on the outside, but too big of a jump. Dakari Kenny was offsides. Gramstead is now pulled down right at the line of scrimmage as he tried to run out to the right side by Logan Blake, but it will be a free 5 yards as 45 jumped too soon.
Yeah, it's the right call. Dakari Kenny always lines up as close as possible to the line of scrimmage and as close as possible to the snap. He's done it all year. That's his game. This time he gets caught. Sometimes he is able to get that jump and get close to the quarterback and not get called for offsides. This time he does.
Move it out to the 37-yard line. Now that brings up 2nd down and 1 instead of what would have been 3rd down and 6. And so now if you're Northwestern College, you're thinking we pick this up and another minute or 2 comes off the clock. 2nd down and 1 on their own side of the 50. The Red Raiders have the ball at the 37-yard line. Send a man in motion, turn, give to the running back. He easily has the first down.
Yeah, too easy.
And he's tripped up and brought down at the 41-yard line.
Too easy. And you do bring up an interesting point with the wind at their back. They don't have to abandon the aggressive game plan of slinging it down the field. They're going more with some runs so far. But then if they lull Marion to sleep and then take a shot, don't be surprised by that either.
Yeah, and if they're going to take the shot, you clearly want to avoid those long throws out in the flat because that just cost you an interception to put points on the board.
Yep.
3 wide receivers out to the left. Now they move Michael Story, the wide receiver, in motion, so they're split 2 on one side, 2 on the other. Gramstead drops back. He will put this in the air. He will throw this deep. He's looking for Story, and they're going to throw the flag on Nate Fry.
It's a bad call.
The ball was 10 yards overthrown. He did grab some jersey as Story was running by him, but the ball sailed way over the head. The bench is going to argue it's not catchable,
right.
but I think the officials are going to flag them anyway.
I will also argue that, and I do think it was uncatchable. It was well overthrown even without the jersey tug. It was 10, 15 yards above his head. It's probably the right call if I was unbiased, but I thought it was too far away. I did.
And that will be the 2nd pass interference for Marion. Folks, they now have 8 penalties in this game.
So many.
For over 100 yards. 8
many.
for 103.
There was a jersey tug. I get the call. It just was well overthrown.
So now you've got a fresh set of downs. You're in Marion territory at the 44-yard line. Turn, give, the running back works the left side. And before he's hit, he's already at the 40-yard line, so a gain of 4.
Good job out of Dakari Kinney, keeping his contained, forcing the running back inside where Majors and Blake are able to bring him down for the tackle.
331 yards of total offense right now for Northwestern. And Marion is 103 yards in penalties. Now, on the defensive side, you're looking at 2 pass interferences. You have the 5-yard encroachment offsides on the D-line that takes a potential 3rd and 6 to 2nd down and 1. And here are the Red Raiders now in Marion territory, wind at their back, leading 35-7. 10 minutes to go, third quarter. Gramstad with Dakari Kenny bearing down, throws the ball up, nearly intercepted by Fry rather. Gramstad was absolutely flattened by Dakari Kenny as soon as he threw it, and it looked like the wide receiver helped out his quarterback by tugging a bit on the safety.
He did. It was probably offensive pass interference. It really was. The way that ball hung up there, Nate Fry is almost about to catch it like it's a punt. Great job by Dakari Kenny off the edge. Huge hit on Gramstad, and that ball just hung up there in the wind. Nate Fry was getting under it at his safety position, about to intercept it, and was it Story, the wide receiver, clearly tugged on his jersey. We just had that call 3 plays ago.
Yeah, Tanner Scout, number 8.
Because it is a big call because it's 3rd down and like 6. If that's another 15 back, then it's 3rd and a mile. Marion really has a good opportunity to get the ball back. That's a missed call.
So now 3rd down and 6. 3 wide receivers out to the right, 1 out to the left, single back. Quarterback is in the gun. 3rd down and 6. Gramstad drops back. He's going to look left. He's going to throw. The curl route's good for the first down at the 30-yard line.
What a great route by Moser. He's got press coverage against Jay Sean Underwood. Hand fighting at the line of scrimmage. Starts to work his way to the outside and then just stops on a dime. Comes back for the curl route. Good delivery from Gramstad. First down, Northwestern. Tough one. That was tough.
They'll have the line of scrimmage now at the 31-yard line. Under 9:45 to play in the third quarter. Marion trailing by 4 touchdowns here in the third quarter. Quarterfinals of the playoffs. At Northwestern College, we are in Iowa, a long way from Indianapolis. Gramstad will do a wide receiver screen out in the flat, caught by Mosier, makes a little stutter step, hits the corner, gets the first down. He caught that, was able to get to full speed within just a couple of steps.
Yeah, good design on that. I thought that on the block out there from wide receiver that Michael Story got to the defender a little early, which is a call that is tough to catch. It would be offensive pass interference if it was called because Moser was so wide open because Story got there early. So a couple bad breaks here on the last few plays for Marion Knights.
The 20 is the line of scrimmage in the second quarter. Well, actually, in the first half, rather. 4 for 4 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. The Red Raiders are there once again, wind at their back. They'll hand it off to the running back. He's stood up by Logan Blake, and then he's dropped again as well.
Almost looked like some miscommunication up front for Northwestern. There was a bunch of Marion players in the backfield immediately. They get the stop, 2nd and long.
11. Line of scrimmage now the 19. 2nd down and 9. Boy, Marion needs a stop. They need to force a field goal miss. Need to start raking at the football.
All of it.
Empty backfield. 4 wide receivers and a tight end. Gramstad will now run it. He'll go up the middle, squirts his way through the 15, jump stop at the 10. That's good enough for the first down, and then he's hit from behind and pushed forward down to the 8-yard line.
It's so hard to defend. You have all blockers quarterback running the ball. There's just extra numbers. It's blocked up so well because there's not enough Marion defenders to fit those gaps and stop. And then you got the nice moves from Gramstad as well. That step back move was a thing of beauty, and he's able to use his athleticism and his skill to pick up the first down. Along with good blocking, it's just so hard to defend.
First down, goal to go from the 8 for the Red Raiders. They're looking to answer that Marion touchdown. Hand it off. Chauncey Mays wraps up the running back right at the line of scrimmage. He'll have a gain of 1 down to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, good stop once again. Chauncey Mays playing well today.
Second down, goal to go from the 7-yard line. This will be the 11th play of the drive.
And it's a long one, time-wise.
Yes, thus far. They have taken almost 6 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
Quarterback in the gun has the running back behind him. Sends a wide receiver in motion. Turns, gives it to the running back. And McClellan again is hit, and he'll gain 1 yard. He's down to the 6-yard line.
Now you see such a difference when it's Connor McClellan running from his running back position versus Gramstead running from his quarterback position. It's just one less blocker, as I've mentioned many times, and Marion able to bring McClellan down with relative ease on that play and most of the other true running plays that Northwestern has ran.
Third down, goal to go at the 6. A drive that started back on their own 28 with 12:47 on the clock. Now, this ball will be snapped with 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Grabstead will drop back, looking left, floats it up to the far corner of the end zone. Mosier has the touchdown catch easily over Dom Small.
So much separation that Moser got on that route, able to just leave Small in the dust, really. And then it's a good throw towards the back corner from Gramstead. Moser goes up and gets it. Great route, great throw, great drive.
6 minutes and 47 seconds come off the clock.
Immediately.
12-play touchdown drive. Marion scores to make it 35-7. The defense needs the stop. Couple of penalties. Extend the drive, allow Northwestern College to have a better situation, and then they punch it in. 5th touchdown pass of the game for Jalen Gramstead.
But to immediately bounce back after the interception that led to a quick touchdown, very impressive.
So when they have had the wind at their back, they have scored 5 times. All 5 of those are through the air. And you look back in the opening coin toss, Marion wins the toss. They defer. By deferring, then you give the home team the opportunity to say, which way do you want to play? And what the Red Raiders decided was, we'll take the wind at our back in the second and the third quarters. Well, 5 touchdowns later, that decision has paid off pretty well for them.
Yeah. Sure has.
They wanted the ball first, and they wanted to pick which way they wanted to go. So 42-7, they'll kick it off.
And now essentially you're in the same position you were when this quarter started with 9 less minutes.
9 minutes ago, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was a incredible drive. It could have been, in all likelihood, maybe a game-clinching drive.
Game-clinching, yes, and it's really like a championship drive. That's what championship teams do.
Jennings will take this kick. Nope, he'll make it look like he's going to catch it in the middle of the end zone, and it bounces through. So now the Marion offense, they'll huddle on the far side of the field at the 20-yard line. They'll come out to the 25.
Yeah, got to go quick here. I mean, I know you're still trying to run it a little bit, but it's got to be quick tempo. It's got to get right back up to the line. No huddles, just moving as quick as possible, as efficiently as possible. Obviously, you want to have positive plays.
Bundalo, the quarterback, in the gun. He stands at the 20. The line of scrimmage is the 25. Calls for it, gets it. Hands it off to the running back, Hunter. He'll run into a pile. I don't think he will get back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on first down to the 25.
Yeah, and I know it's still tough here in third quarter going into the win, too. But, yeah, it's just tough all around. What else is there to say? It's just, yeah.
I mean, you could say let's start throwing the ball around, but Bundalo is 4 of 12 for just 18 yards.
4 of 12.
And he's had 2 drops. He had a drop on the very first drive of the third quarter that would have been good for a third down conversion. Bundalo takes the snap, drops back. He'll put this one in the air. He'll throw it towards the letters. Nice catch by Ben Stevens. That's good for a first down. He turns in the middle of that soft zone and has it out to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, and as there's a pile created there past the first down marker, Darren Dillon comes in headhunting, able to get that extra hit before the whistle blows, but nice job from Bundalo and Stevens. There's 3 guys around Stevens. They have done a good job of taking him away, and that time Bundalo finds him with a bunch of defenders around.
16-yard reception. Stevens now 3 catches and 19 yards. First team all-league. Turn, play, action. Bundalo, nowhere to go. Now he'll throw it down over the middle. Double coverage is there, nearly intercepted. Wanted to get Jalen Jennings, but he was just trying to force that ball downfield. It's incomplete at the 25.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in the first half where Bundalo didn't have that first read, didn't really feel comfortable throwing the ball to a spot where there's a bunch of red jerseys. That time, with the 35-point deficit, he knows he has to. Even after the double clutch, still tries to get it down there, and there's 2 guys there, and they break it up.
Jennings was the intended wide receiver. The ball fell to the turf at the 25-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 41. Marion on their side of the 50. 4:50 to play third quarter. You give it to the running back. Hunter around the corner. Takes a big hit at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, good push up front. That was. The offensive line was able to move Northwestern backwards, and they get a good chunk of yards out of it, but third down now.
Yeah, now you got third down and 5 after the 5-yard gain by number 4. As that offense on the white jerseys looks over to the sideline. Now they'll come up, sit on top of that football. Third down and 5. Bundalo backpedals into the shotgun. The running back is to his left. 3 wide receivers in this formation. Bundalo takes the snap. He'll throw it in. It's going to be intercepted. It was telegraphed the entire way.
It was.
He wanted to hit T-Ray Spence out around the 40-yard line, but it hung up into the air, and running underneath it and catching it in stride, Jaden Snyder, 3rd pick of the year. Then he just cruised out of bounds after the interception.
Yeah, 2 deep safeties. Snyder just kind of playing back and waiting for that pass, and he was able to just get right under T-Ray Spence and intercepted. He baited him. He baited Bundalo into throwing that ball, and it's picked off.
That'll be the 2nd interception for Zach Bundalo today. And Marion's defense is now out on the field. The line of scrimmage is the 49-yard line. So the Red Raiders will start on the Marion side of the 50, leading 42-7 here in the third quarter. Wide receiver screen nearly slipped through the hands and picked by Adler instead. It's a catch and a run of 7 yards.
Well, Adler gave an effort for it. Out of his nickelback position, he saw the ball coming on that quick outside pass. He laid out, gave it his all, missed it, and Northwestern picks up those positive yards. It was close. I mean, he gave it all he got. He really did.
He laid out, almost had it tip off the white glove. 2nd down, line of scrimmage is the 43. Marion trailing by 35 points here in the third quarter. Under 3.5 to play here in this quarter number 3. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Play action, you throw it a little high off the hands of his tight end who tried to slip out into the left flat from his slot back position.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of those missed plays, especially to Blake Anderson. Just threw it a little too high. He couldn't go get it. 6'4", tough to miss high, but he did.
Clock stops at 3:15. Third quarter. 3rd down and 4. A little bit of confusion. The wide receivers look to the sideline with their hands out. Play clock right now is at 7. And a timeout will be called by Northwestern College and their head coach, Matt McCarty. It's his 7th season. He has played for a national title. That was in the spring of 2020. And that was really a tough break for them. They had the nation's top player And when he threw the game-winning touchdown pass in the semis,
Forgot about
he
that.
popped his Achilles.
Yep.
So he could not play in the national championship game, a game that was won by Lindsey Wilson. They absolutely hammered Northwestern College in that title game.
Would have been a heck of a quarterback matchup.
really
Koima and
Dukes.
And Dukes.
Yeah, it was. But he popped his Achilles on the game-winning throw on the last play of the game. How remarkable is that as they beat their rival Morningside in that game? You know, these two schools, Morningside and Northwestern College, both now have been living in the top 5 the last 5 football seasons, separated by just 45 miles, conference rivals. And who knows, they might be on a collision course once again in the postseason. 42-7, the home team is leading Marion. The Knights defense lines up ready to defend a 3rd down and 4. A tight bunch formation left of the line of scrimmage. Gramstead, the quarterback, drops back, pump fakes. Now he'll squirt through, jump throw. It's caught, and it's a 1st down.
Wow.
He just took one false step forward and then jumped into the air and then delivered that ball to Cade Mosier. The defense is saying the ball was knocked out, but the officials just announced down by contact.
What a heck of a play. We talk about all the time, you and I, mostly off air, about how important the quarterback position is, especially in NAIA. And over the years, we've seen some really good ones. And those really good ones usually end up winning championships. And this guy, this is our first look at him, Jalen Gramstead, and I am very impressed.
Play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Visiting team sideline.
Can't have that.
So after Marion argued the fact that the runner was down by contact, then the sideline gets a 15-yard penalty. So instead of the line of scrimmage being the 31, you move this all the way to the 16-yard line. 1st down, 16-yard line. 9 penalties, 118 yards for the Marion Knights. Two wide receivers out to the left. Now they'll move the inside man tight behind the line. Single back, turn, play action, looking up for his 6th touchdown, and instead Michael Story, the wide receiver, tackled as he crossed the goal line. It'll be a pass interference.
T.Y. Thomas knew he was beat and just tackled Story to prevent another touchdown. Had some help over the top, but I think it was going to get there anyway. Honestly, probably a good decision on T.Y.'s part. Just got beat right off the line of scrimmage.
They get T.Y. with that, but looking for what would have been the 5th touchdown for Michael Story and the 6th of the game for Jalen Gramstead, the quarterback. So you move it all the way to the 2-yard line. So back-to-back 15-yard penalties take the football from what would have been the 31 to the 2. Ball will be on the left hash. They huddle up because Northwestern College.
Yeah, it's weird that they moved the ball over to the left hash after that penalty because it was set up in the middle. Usually you take the yards and line up where the ball was.
Yeah, and since it occurred in the end zone, they drop that ball down low. Gramstead will now stick it in the belly of his running back. He'll turn around the left side, and a rushing touchdown for Connor McCullen.
Yeah, it's one of those read plays where it's a mesh with the quarterback and the running back, and it looked like Gramstead wanted to keep it himself. McCullen says, "Hey, man, you've thrown enough today. I'll go ahead and take this one in."
You've had a big day.
You've had a big day.
Let me go ahead and rip this one out of your hands.
I'll take this one.
48 points for the Raiders. I don't know if Marion has given up more points in a playoff game in their history.
No, not off the top of my head.
There have been some shootouts with Morningside in the 12 national championship game.
Yeah.
And in the 2019 game.
And the 14 game, Southern Oregon scored a lot of points as
They
well.
did, that's right. 49-7 right now is our score with 2:38 to play in the third quarter.
Man.
It's been a show right now by Northwestern College. And again, when you're coming into this, they have impressive offensive numbers.
Yes.
But even they admit their league is down.
Right.
And so a lot of people are wondering, this team is getting ready to play a very physical team in Marion out of the mid-states. I mean, Marion is a very physical team. It's in a physical league. You know, is this the type of team that can get out there and play with them? And Northwestern College said, yes, we can.
Yes.
And we can put some great matchups out there on the field with our top wide receiver. And our quarterback is only a sophomore, and he played defense last year and has absolutely no fear throwing that football around.
Number 9, Eli.
Yeah, you find out who you are in the playoffs. You know, you start to play some different leagues, and you find out how good your league was, how good you are, and we are all finding out today just how good Northwestern is.
Yeah, and say what you want about the Great Plains and the GPAC.
Sure.
And you know, yeah, it is down. Yeah, they have some low numbers when you look at some of the win-losses record below the top two teams.
Right.
But these top two teams are really good in Morningside and Northwestern College.
Really good.
And this kickoff goes into the end zone once again. 2:38 is to play. 49-7 right now is our score. And the Marion offense will huddle up once again and try and come out and let's just kind of see what they exactly can do. You know, just to kind of move this ball. It's been a third quarter, even with that interception return going down to the 10-yard line and Marion then scoring a touchdown the next play. It's been dominated right now. Time of possession, 28 minutes and 16 seconds for the Red Raiders, 14 minutes and 6 seconds for Marion. 59 offensive plays by the home team. This will be the 33rd run by Marion. Turn, give, Hebler nowhere to go as he tries to get back to the 25-yard line.
And when you look at the game comparison, and obviously the yards are just stupid. 395 for Northwestern, 85 for Marion. The thing that sticks out that we said was going to be a big factor, third downs. 8 of 12 for Northwestern, 0 of 8 for Marion. Just can't stay on the field and can't get off the field, and that is why Northwestern is just kind of running away with it.
Second down and 10 right now from the 25-yard line. Hebler again on the run, and this time he's able to squirt forward for 3. Carries it out to the 28-yard line.
28-yard line.
He'll bring up your third down and 7.
It's third down.
Minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Just trying to do whatever they can at this point.
It is not the most points allowed in a playoff game for Marion. 49-7 right now our score. Bundalo wants to throw on third down. Caught by Pressler. Paid the price and unfortunately 2 yards shy of the sticks.
Yeah, he took a shot from Tanner Olson.
Running right over the middle of the field.
At the 33-yard line. That is number 51, Tanner Olson.
And he was hit hard short of the sticks. And Marion is going to come out and punt on fourth down and 2.
It is interesting, something I've thought about is how it used to be the MSFA that always dominated, and it was either Marion or St. Francis, Indiana, that was in the Final Four.
Yeah, there was a stretch, I believe, of 7 straight years an MSFA team was in the national championship game.
Right.
Soper's punt into the win. It's a good one. Fair catch is called for and taken back at about the 27-yard line. Yes, 7 straight years, starting with Grandview's win, I believe,
when they were,
in 13.
Yep.
From 13 until after St. Francis's run.
Well, 12 with Marion, and then
12. Yep.
But at that time, Grandview was in the MSFA.
Yep.
But so again, the whole point I was making was you look at the GPAC and you say whatever you want about them. But if Morningside and Northwestern are in the championship or in the Final Four for all these years now, you have to respect them. Maybe the other teams are bad because they have to play these two guys.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great point. Yeah, I mean Morningside, you're looking at them as they've won 3 out of the last 4 national championships.
Yeah.
And the one they didn't win, this school right here, Northwestern College, beat them on the last play of a game in the semis. Good tough run by McCauley.
It was.
Takes it from the 27-yard line, just a yard shy of the sticks, out to the 36-yard line.
And even that play just kind of reminded me, even before the points were there, even before the lead was the way it was. Since the beginning, it's just felt like Northwestern has come out and they're running hard and they're making plays and they're blocking better. It's just from almost every aspect of the game, they have just outplayed Marion.
And 3 quarters are finished here at Northwestern College. They are cruising right now past the Marion Knights. 49-7 is your score. We'll take a 1-minute break on the ISC Sports Network. We're ready for the 4th quarter now. Here at Northwestern College, the Red Raiders leading 49-7 on 2nd down and 1 from their own 36. They hand it off and they pick up the yard needed and they move the chains. I'm Scott McCauley along with Zach Graves. And for the 2nd consecutive season, Marion will fall in the quarterfinals at Northwestern College. Their 2021 campaign fell short here a year ago, and now this year in a convincing loss to the Red Raiders. Elsewhere in the playoffs, Indiana Wesleyan, they advanced to the semifinals. So they now have won their first 2 playoff games for the first time in school history. They knock off Benedictine 24-13. Through 3 quarters, Grandview and Lindsey Wilson are tied at 7. Here's a give to the halfback who just sweeps around the right edge. And Fry, the safety, has to come over and cut his legs out at the 30-yard line, but not before a 33-yard run.
Yeah, Northwestern lines up everybody to the left side of the line, then run back to the right and lost contain. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Pettiford. Once he got outside of him, there was no one else. Fry has to come up and make the tackle, but after a long gain.
So now you move the ball onto the Marion side. And for McCauley, he is now over 100 yards rushing. Just the 2nd time he's done that in a game this season. But he has 22 carries for 107 yards and the touchdown. They'll give it now.
Ball carried by number 36.
Garrett Packer, the running back, takes the ball. Still being handed off the football by quarterback Jalen Gramstead, who has thrown for 283 yards, 5 touchdowns. Marion allowed 4 touchdowns in the 2nd quarter. That's the first time they've given up that many points in a quarter since the 2008 season.
Just so wild to even hear you say that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. So you've got 2 split out to the right, 2 split out to the left. Quarterback in the gun, 2nd down and 8, 13 minutes to play in the game. They give it to the running back. McCauley back out there after taking a breather for 1 play. Wrapped up at the 26-yard line. Gain of 2. And it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Well, the Marion Knights will finish this campaign with a 9-2 mark. They finished 6-1 in the MSFA East.
9 games just isn't enough in the regular season.
Yeah,
Fortunately,
you're right.
back to 10 next year.
Yeah, back to 10 next year when you look at the what is believed to be perhaps the initial schedule. It will be officially released later on. There's going to be motion on the wide receiver who was in motion. Michael Story started to move a little too quick before the ball was snapped.
Full start. Offense, number 4.
Yep, they get number 4. So it'll be 3rd down and 11. Move the ball back to the 31-yard line. That, folks, would be the 2nd penalty on this team. They are one of the fewest penalized teams in the NAIA. They have 2 penalties for 15 yards. Marian has 10 for 132. And Marion is one of the most penalized teams at this level. 3rd down and 11. Marion's showing blitz. They'll bring the safety blitz. Grahamstead will throw it, and it's dropped. It was going to be right at the sticks, a little behind his tight end, but we've seen Anderson make some catches already.
Yeah.
And that one just squirts right out of his arm.
It was a really good read from Grahamstead. He sees Fry coming in on that safety blitz, and he goes right to the area where Fry abandoned. Had a guy open, just missed him.
And now with 4th and 11 from the 31 going into the wind, Northwestern College will go for it. 11:50, clock stops, 4th quarter. They're moving from left to right, and their home red jerseys and white pants. Marion in the road yellow pants and white jerseys. 3rd and 11. Grahamstead drops back, gets some pressure, avoids it, rolls right, throws on the run, and it's a first down catch. Tapping his toes along the sideline is Tanner Scout, and he came back to the ball and makes the play.
Yeah, it just escapes, uses his legs to buy more time. This guy comes back and gets the ball. It's just all around good play. They just haven't missed many today, Scott. They've just been really good.
And you move that one down to the 17-yard line. That is a pretty easy 14-yard pitch and catch. Clock now runs under 11 and a half to play. Three receivers, a tight end left of the line. He now scoots back into a slot back position. And timeout will be called on the sideline. They were misaligned right there. They were trying to communicate who should be on the line and who should be off. So second timeout that they'll use here in this second half. So 1 remaining for the Red Raiders, who lead at 49-7. Pretty incredible performance by Jalen Grahamstead, the sophomore quarterback. You know, he's now over 2,000 yards passing. He came into this game completing 70% of his passes. He had 15 touchdowns coming into this game. Zach, he has 5 today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, coming in, he had so many more on the ground.
Yep.
And today, Michael Story has just been so good at getting himself open that they haven't really had to do as many quarterback runs since the first quarter, really. A few mixed in, obviously, but just as easily as they've been able to move the ball through the air, there's no reason for him to run.
Well, it's been a relatively quiet crowd here in the second half as they, had a 35-0 lead at halftime. They're just saying, hey, let's just brave this wind and let's get out of here. But they did just announce a cheer because about 45 miles away, their main rival Morningside, the top team in the country, just gave up a touchdown. That's a 28-23 game. The entire 4th quarter to play between Kaiser, who's out of Fort Lauderdale, playing in Sioux City, Iowa.
Yeah.
Grahamstead floats this ball up into the air looking for his wide receiver, and it's knocked away. Thomas breaks up the pass on the far side intended for Cade Mosier.
Yeah, good PBU by Thomas. Had the position on Moser, was able to get underneath him and then tip away that ball. It's a good play.
Yeah, they had the one-on-one. We're going to that fade route on the outside, and Thomas knocks it away. T.Y., redshirt junior from Andrean. .11:06 to play, 2nd down and 10 from the 17-yard line. 9th play of the drive. Another one of these drives. This one started with 33 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and we're getting ready to have our 4th minute tick off the clock. Here's the handoff. McClellan takes a big-time shot. Cuevas came up and delivered the hit. He's slow to get up after that hit.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned those long drives. It's not only are they long drives and taking up clock, they're finishing them with touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's been just all Red Raiders.
Yep. Clock now running, 10:40 to play. They lead 49-7 to the Red Raiders. Marion's defense wanted to keep them out of the end zone. 3rd down and 10. Grahamstead, the quarterback, sends a man in motion, takes the snap, turns hands off to his running back. He'll be bottled up. Boy, some vicious hitting by that defensive line. Dakari Kenny, Alex Griffin, Howell in there as well, Jacob Howell.
Yeah, and all guys that will be back. They're getting their run here in the playoff, but they still have time play football at Marion.
So that was a run on what was 3rd down and 10, and they're going to bring the field goal unit on right now.
Into attempt at 34.
This will be a 34-yard field goal for Eli Stater. He has not attempted a field goal within this range. He's only 2 for 5 on the season. 34-yarder, snap, kick is up, wind is into his face, and it is good. First attempt he's had in the 30 to 39-yard range, and he nails it. 52-7 right now is your score.
Marion 7.
Good kick by Eli Stater into that wind. 52-7 right now with 9.5 to play.
52-7.
That's correct.
Just didn't see that happening. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I expected a much closer game. And I honestly felt pretty confident coming into this game. I thought Marion finished the season really strong. I thought they had a good performance last week against St. Xavier. It was just an unknown. We had not seen this team play yet. And even though all of Marion felt that Marion is a better team this year than they were 364 days ago, Northwestern is also a better team than they were
it's a different
364
quarterback.
days ago.
It's a different quarterback, but it's still those same weapons.
Right.
And, their defense, this is pretty incredible. So after losing their first game against Morningside, the defense has not allowed, and that includes today, an opponent to score more than 10 points.
Wow.
Here's going to be a short kick. Jennings will take it over at the 12-yard line. Jalen Jennings looking for some room, uses his speed to navigate up the middle, still on his feet, and he's twisted back at about the 39-yard line. He popped up. So Jalen Jennings with the good return. You look at what they've done this year. They lose their first game 30-29 against Morningside, does Northwestern State. And then 10 points is the most anyone has scored on them during their 10-game win streak. And that includes today. Marion's only touchdown was a Logan Blake interception return to the 10-yard line to set Marion up at 1st and goal at the 10, and they threw a back shoulder touchdown to Pressler. Bundalo, the quarterback, comes in. Marion now for the first time has the wind really at their back since the first quarter, and they'll hand it off to Christian Hunter. And the running back navigates his way from the 39, the line of scrimmage, out to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, you mentioned that first game against Morningside. Not only was it 30-29, really good game, it's the beginning of the season, right? So you feel like you're a different team now than you were then, and you're essentially playing the GPAC championship game in the first
week 1. Yeah.
And in that game, Northwestern gave up a safety in a 1-point game. So I think they are a team that feels very confident. They feel like they are the number 1 team in the nation.
2nd down and 4 from the 45. Bundalo in the gun. The quarterback takes the snap. Play action, plants at the 35, puts this ball into the air. It's caught by Pressler, and that's down in Northwestern territory. As it's down, they're going to say that he knocked him out at the 35-yard line.
Nice route by Pressler, able to lose his defender, Cody Moser. Not sure if he lost his footing or not, but the comeback route from Pressler was executed very well. Goes up and gets the ball, gets the first down.
That's a gain of 20 for Pressler. Now 3 catches for 35 yards. 52-7, the clock running at 8:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. Here in Orange City, Iowa. Bundalo to pass. Swings it out in the right flat, and he was way off target. He missed Christian Hunter by 2 feet.
Yeah, he did.
2 feet out in front of him as he extended his right hand, and number 4 could not come up with it.
Nope, yeah, just missed him on the check down. Missed him.
Clock stops with 8:09 to play at the 35-yard line. Well, Northwestern College is the 3 seed. If both Morningside and Grandview win, Northwestern would be on the road. However, if one of those two teams is upset, they'll have a chance to host the semifinal here. Bundalo drops back on 2nd down and 10, throws it deep over the middle, and Ben Stevens was bumped on the route. Here comes the flag. I wanted to know where that flag was.
Late flag, yeah. It's clearly
got stuck in the pocket as he was right about the 10-yard line. A little bump on his hip turned his body, and as soon as you turn a man, you know that flag is coming.
Yeah, it was.
Number 18, 15-yard penalty.
Very late, though. It did.
It's stuck. Velcro, just stuck in the pocket.
Yeah, that's all it was.
I wanted to throw it, Coach. It was in my pocket.
First and 10, Marion.
First down and 10 now, Marion at the 20-yard line as they have, for the second time today, but really the first time offensive driven, has reached the red zone. The last time they were in the red zone was because of a defensive interception taking them to the 10. Bundalo drops back, pressure from behind, throws it up in the far corner of the end zone, and he overthrows Ben Stevens on the far right back pylon.
Yeah, it's that corner route that they love to run. Bundalo to Ben Stevens. It just overthrew it.
2nd down and 10 now. Line of scrimmage remains the 20-yard line. 7:58 to play. Hunter, the running back, to the left of Bundalo, who backs up into the gun. 3 wide receivers to the right. Ben Stevens, the lone man to the left. Bundalo looking to his left, but the play is blown dead as he takes the snap.
False start.
And that will be the 11th penalty on Marion today.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You know, very under the radar. That was a concern because they averaged 7 for 70, and Northwestern College averaged 4. They just don't hurt themselves, and there has been a huge gap.
I mean, an extra 100 yards in penalty yards, 11 for 137, Northwestern 3 for 30. You're not going to win a football game like that.
2nd down and 15 from the 25-yard line. Bundalo drops back, looking left, and he's going to be grabbed and thrown down. He tried to step away from the defender, but Peyton Newsma wrapped him up around the waist and dropped him for his first sack of the season.
Yeah, one-on-one pass protection with left tackle Austin Jones, and he actually comes from the defensive tackle, so they run a stunt up front, comes to the outside. Austin Jones just can't stay in front of him, records his first sack.
Yeah, move it back to the 33 now, so 3rd down and 15. Same formation, 3 out to the right. Stevens, the only wide receiver to left. Bundalo wants to roll out to his right, stops, is going to throw back, looks left, winds up, throws to the middle of the end zone. Jalen Jennings catches it right on the deep post.
That's a good ball. It's only 2 men rushing, so they have 9 guys in coverage. Bundle has to buy a little extra time to get Jennings open. Jennings gets open, and it's a nice throw, nice catch, touchdown Knights.
33 yards on the touchdown pass. And now your streak of not allowing more than 10 points in a game has been snapped. Go ahead and hang our hat on that one.
There you go.
7 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Marion looking for the extra point. Pomeli is on. A hold by Henniger, and the kick is good. 52-14 right now is our score. Marion scoring their 2nd touchdown here in this second half, but just not enough in that second quarter. Look, when they decided to go for it on 4th and 1, leading 21-0, they threw the touchdown pass to make it 28-zip. You knew this team was all business today in the Red Raiders.
Yeah.
Then when they got it back with 1:17 to go before halftime and decided to march all the way down in 7 plays and throw a touchdown pass to make it 35-zip, for all intents and purposes, you could start the bus.
Yeah, and that was the one where he has the scramble, where he's coming up, looks like he's going to run, and then throws the ball. I mean, how do you defend that?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of stuff that they pulled out today, design-wise.
Yeah, and they're able to do it with such a mobile quarterback.
Right.
They're able to do so much because of his ability
Exactly.
to move around in the pocket and then make some just terrific throws.
Yep. Yeah.
Pomeli has it on the tee at the 35-yard line. A sophomore kicker who's had a very, very good second year with the program. Set to kick it away. Pomeli this year has made 3 kicks over 40 yards. With the wind at his back, he hits this kickoff into the end zone, and it will be the 25-yard line is where Northwestern College will start with 7:10 to play, and do they empty their bench here for these final minutes as they get ready for the semis next week, which again they may host depending on how Grandview and Lindsey Wilson ends. Lindsey Wilson, who is the 8 seed, that's a 7-7 game with the 2 seed. And then Morningside right now, the top seed, they're leading just 28-23. I mean, if those 2 upsets happen, Northwestern College is your highest remaining seed, and Indiana Wesleyan would be your second remaining seed. New quarterback, and the handoff is stuffed by the Marion defensive line. Quarterback is Luke Gugamos. He turned and handed off to Garrett Packer. Second down and 11 from the 24-yard line.
Yep, full 6-minute offense here. 4-minute offense with over 6 minutes to go. Just trying to get out of here with a win. Big win. Big win.
Yeah, this is a
second round.
This is a big win. 2 straight years now knocking off a power out of the mid-states. And to do it this year in the fashion of 52-14. There's a tackle in the backfield. Not ready to finish his career yet. Chauncey Mays, a 5th-year senior from Lawrence North. Has been lining up next to his former high school teammate of Lawrence North, Tyler Majors, number 56. It'll be pretty unusual next year watching Marion line up on defense without Mays and seeing that familiar 56 of Majors.
Yeah, it will be. They've been fun to watch those guys play. They've been pretty special up front. There's been some really good defensive linemen in Marion's history, and those 2 are up there.
And another one out there, number 2, Dom Small, the 6'2", 210-pound 5th-year senior out of Cardinal Ritter, lining up on an island as he often does in his cornerback position. Handoff, and the running back is twisted down out near the 27-yard line. So he gains 5, and it brings up 4th down and long.
That'll bring up 4th and 8 for the Raiders.
4th and 8, under 5.5 to play. And the punt team will come out for the Red Raiders.
Got a scoring update.
Morningside is losing to Kaiser right now, 29-28.
Kaiser is now beating Morningside.
With the ball, 8 minutes to go.
You know, I don't want to say it, but I believe someone sitting in this booth said that Kaiser's going to give them some fits. Here's a shank punt that will be caught at the 39-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 27. That went off the side of the foot into this wind, and it ends up just clearing 12 yards from the line of scrimmage down to the 39-yard line.
Ball down by Luke Yelp.
Well, for Morningside, the number 1 team in the country, their quarterback has been injured.
He is playing.
He is playing?
14 of 27, 204 yards and 2 touchdowns. But, yeah, he's
Then
missed the
never
last
mind.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Kaiser dominating time of possession, 34 minutes to 17 minutes.
Any guess on what it is in this current game that we're watching?
Probably about the same.
It is 34 minutes and 18 seconds. Marion has had the ball for 18 and a half. And there's another pass trying to throw it out to the safety valve in the flat, and he overthrows his running back, does Bundelow. 504 yards of offense for the Red Raiders, 144 for Marion. The Knights 1 of 10 on 3rd down today, 9 of 15 for Northwestern College, and that's your big story. That was one of your keys was 3rd down, and Marion, the second best 3rd down team in the country offensively. Just 1 of 10. They had the bagel 0 for 6 in the first half, and by that time you're down by 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's really bad.
52-14 is our score. Bundelow avoids a rush. Now we'll run up. Slings it on the far sideline. It's caught by Young.
Was able to break a tackle on that, too. That's a pretty nice play.
Yeah, Young's able to carry that ball down inside the red zone.
Down to the 12-yard line.
Down to the 12-yard line.
7-yard line. 1st and goal.
7-yard line, stand corrected.
Tackled by number 34.
Good little run after the catch.
Got a Wildcat with Byerly.
Byerly comes in, the tight end of the Wildcat. You're doing this 1st down and goal to go from the 7. He'll direct snap it to the tight end. He works the right side, hits the 5-yard line, cuts back in, and he has a rushing touchdown here in the quarterfinals. So Byerly with the rushing touchdown out of the Wildcat.
That's number 49.
And same kind of thing. That's why the Wildcat works that we've been talking about today with the quarterback runs for Northwestern. When you have the quarterback running, there's one extra guy blocking in the scheme, and you're able to pick up everybody, all the defenders, and then a nice move at the end for Byerly to cut back in and score a touchdown.
Marion now trailing 52-20 with just over 4 minutes to play. Pomeli on for the extra point. Henniger, the holder, puts it down, and the kick is good. So now it's 52-21 as Marion will fall here on the road for the second straight year at Northwestern College. So Northwestern College knows they will advance to the semis. Indiana Wesleyan, a winner earlier today. They advance to the semis, but 2 other games still yet to be decided. Grandview has now slipped in front of Lindsey Wilson 10-7.
Yep.
With 3 minutes to play in that one. And again, Kaiser now leading 29-28 with 8 minutes to play. Wait, Kaiser will fly back to Fort Lauderdale tonight or tomorrow. And then they might have to fly back into either Des Moines or Sioux City.
Yeah.
And then make the bus ride up if they have to take on Northwestern College. Pomeli set to kick this one away. 52-21. Marion has their third second-half touchdown. Just clearly not enough today. As the kick sails into the end zone, and it will lead to a knee, and you'll be at the 25-yard line. Well, there's going to be a lot of talent that Marion is going to have to replace, and they have some in those backups on those depths. You know, we're not there at practice. We don't get a chance to see the scout team, but there's some pretty important seniors that are going to be playing in their final game. I look out there on the field, and even though it's 52-21, number 6, Logan Blake, wants his final 4 minutes and 8 seconds. The linebacker is out there on the field.
The same
as
thing
is Chauncey Mays and Tyler Majors. You know, you're looking at 3 fifth-year seniors all still out there wanting to finish this game up. Here's the handoff, bouncing it to the outside. Bucher was in on the tackle as the running back tried to work out to the left side.
You made a really good point, though. Even though they're losing some really important guys, we've seen all year Marion play a lot of guys at a lot of different positions, especially on defense, get a lot of different guys in there rotation-wise. So hopefully for the Knights they'll be able to bounce right back. But, yes, you are losing some very important players.
52-21, the Knights will have their season end in the quarterfinals once again. And for head coach Mark Henniger, he will fall to 12-7 in the playoffs. His 8th playoff appearance that he has had this year. Here's the handoff going nowhere as they're just continuing trying to run out this clock.
Yep.
And Henniger will also now be in the playoffs. You look at his record overall against the top 10. He will be 18-11 overall in his career when facing a top 10 opponent. And, of course, a majority of those you add up during the playoffs. He's 10-5 in the regular season against a top 10 opponent. So you do the math, and he's now going to be 8-6 in the playoffs when taking on a top 10 opponent. Much different story in the playoffs than the regular season. Here's the snap, another handoff, and the running back again trying to get to the corner and unable to do so. Nate Rice is the runner on that one, number 21. 4th down and 12. He stayed in bounds, so the clock runs with 2:20 to play.
Number 28, Peyton Trexler.
And they will come out and bring the punt team out. And Logan Blake jogs off the field.
In punt formation for the Raiders, number 9.
Chauncey Mays jogs off the field as well. Jennings stands back at his own 44-yard line. Here's the snap. And that's off the side of the foot again. This one will take a little better bounce. It will actually move into Marion territory, and it will be down at the 44-yard line. 1:43 to go in this one, Zach.
Yep. Tough one. It really was.
It certainly doesn't make that 10-hour ride back to Indianapolis any better.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It does not.
No.
It's a long one.
It is. Yep, it's going to be a devastating bust when they go back there, but Northwestern College, they just turned it on in the second quarter.
They're a good team.
They're
very
touchdowns in the second quarter. They led 35-0 at halftime. It's 52-21 in this one. 1:43. Bundalo drops back. Now he steps up. He'll now fire this one deep, and Stevens is out of his reach. 3 yards beyond the extent of his right hand as Ben Stevens trying to find the end zone in his final college career.
Yeah, just missed him. He stepped up into it, had a little bit of pressure coming into his face, but put everything he had into it, and it just was a little bit out of the reach.
Ben Stevens, 2-time first-team all-conference wide receiver. He will end his career with 151 catches, 2,898 yards receiving. Mundalo over the middle. That time it's caught by Stevens. He had to climb the ladder to grab that one down for the first down.
Yeah, he did.
He's tackled at the 42-yard line.
That's good enough for a Marion first down.
That's good for a Knights first down out to the 41.
Stop there by number 34, Ben Aguilera. First and 10, Knights.
Byerly and Pressler split out left. Stevens and Spence out to the right. Bundalo looking left. Now he'll try to roll out to the right, steps up to avoid a rush. Sidearm throw on the run, and he hits Ben Stevens in stride. He's tackled at the 25-yard line.
That was a nice throw. I said on the run, sidearmed, able to deliver it to Stevens for the first down.
Yeah, Ben Stevens now over 2,900 yards receiving in his college career. The last 2 seasons, he's gone over 1,000 yards. 13 times he went over 100 yards in his career. He had that terrific school record, 283 yards receiving earlier this year. Bundalo runs out of the pocket and slides down at the 22-yard line.
Carried by Zach Bundalo.
But number 84 takes off that jersey for the final time today. His name will be all over the Marion record books for Ben Stevens. He splits out left. 28 seconds, clock running. Marion down 52-21. Going for Stevens, catches it, and he's dropped at the 5-yard line. But Stevens is being fed the football here on this final drive, and he's got Marion first down and goal to go at the 5.
Yeah, safety Clayton Bozema came up and delivered Ben Stevens a shot. Able to hold on to it.
Clock running, 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Bundalo. Let's see if he can feed Stevens one more time. He's looking that way. Now he'll roll out. Nothing there. Under pressure. He'll sidearm it, and Spence has a touchdown on the backside of the end zone. They were looking for Stevens. They couldn't find it.
Tried to, yeah.
He throws the touchdown on the back of the end zone as the clock hits 0.
Good way to end it for Spence. He had a pretty good season coming on late, got a lot of rotation time, and is able to find the end zone in the final game.
And that is the end of the ball game. And there will be no kick. The teams will come out to midfield and shake hands. And Marion will lose this one by a final score of 52-27. The first man out there to go through the handshake line is number 6, Logan Blake. The 5th-year senior, the Mid-States Football Association Defensive Player of the Year, top 15 in school history in tackles. And the coaches, they will shake hands as well. And Marion's season comes to a close here in Iowa. At Northwestern College, for the 2nd consecutive season, they lose in the quarterfinals. Their final score this afternoon, 52-27. Well, you're packed up.
Well, what do you want me to say here? It's a bummer. It is. It's Marion. They had a good season. They had some adversity. They had some stuff going on, and they fought through all of that, and they fought hard. And They just came up against a better team.
Yep,
Northwestern's
they did.
just better. That's
Yep.
all you can say. Anytime, if you look back at Marion's history, I think of like Southern Oregon in 2014 and some other losses, usually it's the team that they win against was just better, and that's what we saw today.
And the really difficult thing about the playoffs is the finality of things.
Yeah.
This morning there was breakfast. There was the speech by the coach. You take the bus ride over here. Never in your wildest dreams do you think, in 4 hours from now, my college career will be over.
Yeah.
But as you look down here on this field where Zach and I are sitting right now, you see lots of players coming together in embrace. And for some of them, they might be redshirt juniors, but they have the option if they want to come back for a fifth year or not. And some of them may not. They want to graduate and move on. Some may. The finality of it all is the really difficult thing. As you see these fifth-year seniors take a knee, kind of go off on their own thoughts, as Jacob Pressler is awarded the first of the awards that are handed out. That one is for the
Champions of Character.
Champions of Character is that one. So congratulations to Jacob Pressler. He gets the Champions of Character award from Marion.
Matt McCarty to present the offensive and defensive players of the game.
And now they'll announce the offensive and defensive players of the year.
The game is Michael Story.
So they'll give it to the wide receiver, Michael Story. 7 catches, 138 yards, 4 touchdowns. By the way, he didn't have a catch in the second half.
Yeah. Pretty solid stat line there.
And then Tanner Olson is the defensive player of the game.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Yep. Really a good game overall by Northwestern College. Well, we do want to thank Derek Schultz for helping us out back at the ISC studios, allowing us to audio bring you this game here on the road in Iowa. I want to thank Mitch Huppert, outstanding associate athletic director, the terrific job that he does in getting all of us ready to go for the broadcast. He and Greg Rakestraw partnered this week to make sure that you could hear this game. Regardless of the outcome, Zach and I love coming out here and doing these football games for Marian University, and this is a tough one. They lose this one 52-27. Northwestern College, they advance to the semis, while Mark Henniger's 10th season at Marion comes to a disappointing end of the quarterfinals for the second straight year. The Knights will finish the year at 9-2. And Coach Henniger just suffers his 23rd loss in 10 seasons as the head man at Marion.
I want to thank you, Scott. It's been good to be back on the road with
It
you
was.
again this year. We always have fun. It's just such a blessing for me to be able to come up and call these games and get in the booth with you. And it was a fun year. It was good to get good to get back on the road and be together for an entire season again. And hopefully the Knights will bounce back and we'll get to do it again next year.
Thank you. Well said. For Zach Graves, I'm Scott McCauley. The Marion Knights head into the offseason. Their season ends here in Iowa and Northwestern College for the second consecutive year. Your final, the Red Raiders 52 and the Knights 27. Thanks for listening today on this busy college football Saturday. I'm Scott McCauley for Zach Graves. You've been listening to Marion University Football today on the ISC Sports Network.